Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Or I guess when I start at 1, it isn't a good morning anymore. It's a good afternoon. All right, let me sign in from my other side, my other computer, which has been having a bit of a rain day. My other computer is groaning today. It's not very sure that it wants to do any work. Uh, Here we go. All right. Okay.
You want to turn on the AI?
Thank you. Oh, that's a perfect reminder. Wonderful. It's on. That's great. And I appreciate that you if anyone ever uses it, I've heard one or two people tell me this week that they use it. So I do appreciate hearing about how it goes and if you guys use it. So to make sure that it's a worthwhile item. Meanwhile, thank you for reminding me to turn it on.
What is she talking about?
The AI, which is artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
it's that feature that I've been linking onto the handouts. So,
Okay.
here, let me share it with you. Oh, it's my other computer is on strike. Let me open it on this one. It's there, but it's not. Oh, okay. Someone is saying that they're using it every lesson. Okay, perfect. Then, everyone, please go to the chat where Janice just said that. Please go to the chat and give me a good hey ho. And I'm trying to share with you guys what I'm talking about, which is this, that when you go to watch the video, this is the class sheet where you get to find the recordings. That's the recording. But before that, you can go to the meeting summary and open that. And then it'll tell you what we did last week, what you should be doing, et cetera, et cetera. And it actually helped me because Julie had sent me an email reminding me to put the whole class recordings information on. And then when I came here to do the summary, see the last point says, Julie, send email to Deanna Runner about adding how to get the class handouts. AI picks up on everything I'm saying and it kind of talks. On this one, I cleaned up the weird thing that says all students or something like that. But I can't do that all the time. So it just turns into a list of things to do. But then it gives you a summary that basically covers what we've done. Okay. So it helps remember what we should be doing. So for example, if you had checked it, it would remind you that for today, you were supposed to finish cleaning up the downloads, moving important files to documents folder, deleting them, zip installers, old installers, and then organize the documents folder into 5 to 10 main folders with appropriate folders for better file management. Now, I don't expect you all to have done all of that, but if any one of you guys even attempted it or began this process, please give me a yes. And then review and clean up desktop files, moving them also into the documents. Okay, the rest is things we did like turning on the remove 30 days finder. So this kind of shows you the things that were that we did, and then it explains it a little bit more. But none of it teaches you how to do it. It just says Deanna showed people how to. Deanna showed people how to. Deanna did this. She covered the difference between this and that. But it doesn't say the difference is this, the difference is that. You know what I mean? So it's not for learning, it's for having an idea of what we did. But the next steps helps you know, well, what should be happening by today. Okay? So, and that you'll find in the handouts. Now, did anyone notice that today's reminder email included the link of the video for how to
Yes.
get handouts? So if you didn't notice, go to the email and see that at the bottom I said, here's a link of how to get to the handouts. I'm going to include that in all these reminder emails each time, which of course, if you saw it this morning, you might have had a chance to review it this during the day. But the whole point is keep one of these emails. Don't delete one of them, right? Delete the rest of them, but keep one of them. And then whenever you're trying to get to the class handouts, if you don't remember how to, then there's that link. Let me see if I can share that. Let me go to my emails. So let me share that just to be clear what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So today I sent you an email saying, I have so many emails a day. So this is 8:07 a.m. Where's today's email? Oh, I'll just go to my sent. I get so many emails a day. Okay, so here, how Zoom link forgot. So you guys got this one.
Yeah.
Please do this for today. This is the link for today. And then I said, remember to, try to sign in at some point, even if you can make it in a class. And then please use this link to view a video that shows you how to access the class recordings. If you click on this one, it takes you to this video where I show you step by step the process of how to get to the class recording. It's 8 minutes. You can play it as many times as you want while you follow the steps, and then you'll get there. Okay. I got a couple of emails. It's been a really busy week. I'm teaching like it's ridiculous, like 8 to 10 hours a day, every day of the week. And I can't answer every email that I get requesting for class recordings. So that's the email. That's the email. That's the link. Click on this one and watch the recording. Now, for those of you who email me asking for the class recordings, follow this video, do it 2 or 3 times. And if you still can't get there, 100% email me and saying, I really tried. The video isn't showing me what I need. Somehow I'm stuck. Please show me again. I am more than happy to keep showing you how to get there. So this isn't like a quick answer. It's like, try it and do it. Because when I carry you along with me in class, you can do it. But the question is, can you do it when I'm not around? So this is a video showing you how to do it. If there's anything missing in the video, if there's like I skip a step, because sometimes, videos aren't perfect, let me know. I'm happy to record this again and again until I get a really good video that shows you very clearly how to get to the class recordings. Okay. I want to make sure you can get there. But I also want to make sure that you're self-sufficient during the week when you need it. How do I get it? Let's see if this video works. Okay, so for those of you who have been asking for help to get to that, please run the video through after class and then give me some feedback. It's like, nah, it's confusing, it's bad. I give you 2 options and I'm thinking maybe I should just re-record it with 1 option, like no options. And that way for sure, everyone will find it. So I'm happy to re-record it, but I need to hear from you guys if the video is or isn't clear. Okay, all right. Now, meanwhile, I asked the question, which one of you guys did anything with your files as far as cleanup? And I am seeing a lot of yeses, and some no's and some no answers. So I'm going to consider the no answers no's. And, by default. So anyway, good job for those of you who have been working on it. The rest of you guys, it's not that it's not good job, it's just harder
You should do it.
not have, because then you don't have questions, right? And so the whole point is always make sure it's working for you, because when you try it, if it doesn't work, then you'll know what to ask in class. All right. Great. Thanks, Julie, for telling me by what time you'll have to leave. I always know that Mondays are half days for you, and that's great. Now, did everyone sign into the chat? Good afternoon. I just wrote in the chat. If you see a good afternoon, pop in somewhere on your screen. That was me writing in the chat. Please go to that chat and give me a little hey ho that I'm here. It doesn't look like everyone is there yet. Maybe there's quite a few of you guys. Maybe it is, but go to the chat and do a little sign in. Is everyone's first and last name there so that I can remember? Well, last name, first names I'm remembering by now. Yeah, I'm seeing last names everywhere. So good. We're ready to go. Okay. So people who worked on getting your folders and files deleted and worked on, where did you get stuck? Was there a problem somewhere? Denise, I just cleared hands right when you raised yours, but I know you raised it, so you don't need to raise it again. Raise your hands if you have any questions about the process, even the, do I really need to do it? How come? I'm not sure. I really don't want to move my folders. I'm happy where they are because otherwise I won't find them. Any of that kind of stuff, okay? Raise your hand, and we'll talk a little bit about this, and then we're going to keep moving forward with that. But yeah, questions, hesitations, problems, that's what I want to hear right now. Yes, Denise.
I think I am going to share my screen because it might be better.
Mhm.
If I can, hang on a second. I just have to find the place to get it. Okay, just a second.
My first sip of my hot tea is always a surprise because I never know if I got it too hot or not, and I'm always waiting to be burned. But it worked. It worked. I'm not burned.
Okay, you see my, yeah. So I noticed that you have that too. Above the iCloud, I have a little house with my name in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I noticed you have one too, but when I click in there,
Mm-hmm.
I have
Yeah.
kind of duplicates of
No, no,
down.
no, no.
No.
Great question. It's not duplicates. This is where those, let me clarify because this is very important. First of all, it's a slightly dangerous thing to have here. And for those of you who turned it on last week when we went to the Finder, I would recommend you turn it off. And let me explain why. Because this that has your name on it leads you to the real place, to the real folders, right? That have your movies, your music, your pictures, whatever. Let me clear that up for a second to take all that
You can
off.
screw up.
So hold on.
Oh.
So what happens is that when you want to go to the applications, at some point, Mac did it for you. They dragged out here a little quick access. This is like the dock has quick access to stuff. This is the quick access to that. But this is the real deal. This is the place where the applications are. This is the real place where the downloads are. This is the real place with music, pictures, and public. But remember that I told everyone to take off music and pictures and those things from here? It's because if you get in here, you could technically mess up your pictures. You could technically mess up everything in your computer. So I would recommend not having this one here, like getting rid of it so that you don't have the opportunity to get in here. Because that, for people who are new to their computers, are not too sure about what's happening, you could absolutely devastate and kill your computer if you trash one of these by mistake or delete one of these. If you take it away from here, this is just a shortcut. It's like the dock. If you take something out of the dock, it's the shortcut. For those of you who did the first class, you have like 80 applications in here. And if you take the doc application out, you go back in here and you put it in. It's just a quick link, a quick access to those applications. Same with this. This is a quick access to your applications. So if you get rid of this, then you just have to make a quick link here again. Versus this, if you get rid of this, you eliminate all the applications from your computer and it dies, right? Or you it are your music or your picture. So this is the real deal, the place where they hang. Denise, users, Macintosh. This is no shortcut. So for if anything gets affected here, you're truly messing this up. So when I say, not for everyone, but for people who are still now and then not sure where things go, I would recommend that the little house icon with your name, I would recommend that you should grab it, drag it outside, remove it, and
Remove it.
not have access to it anymore, which it is easy to access again. I'll show you how, but at least now, so if you were to do that and you were to get rid of that, right? Let me do it here in class so people trust me. I'll show you how to get rid of it and how to, oh, go ahead and get rid of that, please. So that,
Oh, I don't know what I did.
yeah, you brought Chrome up. Go to Chrome and cancel Chrome or no, no.
Okay, so I'm going to push it to the desktop.
Stop. I'm interrupting you. What just happened is the one thing I'm constantly telling people not to do. You know how you grabbed Chrome and you moved it out of the way? Please, 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 for my brain, bring it back up. Bring it back. Grab it from here and bring it back up. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. Let me show you why. So go back to
Oh,
in the background. You have
I'm gonna
Chrome.
lose it.
Can you please bring it back up?
I am bringing it from here, right?
Yeah, no, that now you've got the Finder. Down here in the bottom, right here, do you see Chrome that you moved sideways? It's got a black. Maybe you have something else in the way that's not zooming. Yes, you moved it out of the way. Move it back up, please. Move it back.
This
back.
one?
Yeah, keep going, keep
Yeah.
going, keep going up until you see the bottom of the window. Keep going, keep going. There. So now we're seeing the whole window. when something is in your way, the worst thing you can do, and I'm just saying your example, Denise, but this is 99% of people, okay? You're just the one sharing, so I'm pointing it out in you. People move things out of the way, they just move them. And then when they need to use them, they don't have all of the utility, they don't have all of the tools,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So when you want to move something out of the way, the quickest thing right now, if you don't want to close it, is click on this
Oh.
yellow,
Oh, right. Yeah,
minimizes it. It goes
right,
completely out of the way,
right.
right? And then when you bring it up again from the, you just go to the dock and
Right.
you click on that again. Everyone, please try this if you have anything else open. Click on that. No, simply click. Just click right there. Click in the middle of that thing. Yep. I don't think you're. See that black box? Oops. Put your mouse in the dock. See that black box? This is your window that you just minimized. Just click in the middle of it. Your mouse isn't on it, so I'm not sure what you're seeing.
Yeah,
Where is your mouse? I'm seeing your dock, yeah? There,
I see it now.
there it is. All right, so now try it again 2 or 3 times. This is, if nothing else I can teach you today, that is one of the most important things. Minimize, go to your dock, pick it up again, just click on it.
It's hidden somehow.
How?
Yeah, it's
You
in
open
a
the trash.
place.
There it is. Yep, that's it. Oh, your mouse was on it. There. Click.
Yeah, somehow. I don't know, it's black on black. I cannot see it.
Oh, okay. It should
Here, now I see it.
Netflix.
So that little house now,
Okay.
what should I do? I drag it
Drag it
outside,
out. Yeah,
like
drag it out.
here?
Yeah.
Am I doing the right thing?
Yes, now you've removed it. Okay, perfect. Now close your trash window because it opened while you were doing all that stuff. And let me just show you now.
Flash.
Okay, so now go click on, say, documents or something.
So,
Wait, you're not clicking on it yet. Click on documents.
oh,
Hovering,
okay.
click. Okay. So
Yeah.
now
But-
all those users, all that house, there's no more access to it anymore. See?
But in my house, I had music,
Wait,
I had movie, and what else that I don't see anymore.
and pictures.
Right.
Move
Well,
pictures.
pictures is down there. I'm fine with pictures. It's down in my dock.
Exactly.
But movie, I don't see anymore.
Exactly. Have you ever gone to that folder for anything?
Yeah, I have a couple thing in there. So
Okay. So when you want to get in there, which by the way, if it's part of the Movies app, it should be accessible through your Movies app, but in the same with music. But if you want to get there now, instead of having it there, then go to the Macintosh hard drive, which you do have there. No, okay, or there, but I was showing it to you in the Finder window, right
Oh.
there, see?
oh,
Either way, you can do it both ways. And then
Uh-huh.
you have users, that's you.
uh-huh.
Denise, there it is.
Oh,
Mm.
oh, I see. Huh.
And
Okay.
there, see how we are, Denise is inside of users in Della Macintosh, right?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
But it makes
Okay.
it easier to not mess up, okay?
Uh-huh.
Easier to
Okay.
not mess up. That said, go to that music, movies where you told me you have some movies. Go ahead and go there.
I just have a couple. Oh, I dragged them out somewhere.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say there shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, yeah.
go
I
backwards,
dragged them out somewhere. Yeah.
backwards because they shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And go to music.
Yeah. And yeah.
Double click, go into music. Okay.
Oh,
This stuff you should not access in any way other than through the apps, through the music app. So all of this is stuff that if you need to listen to this music, then by clicking on your music app, it plays it for you. This is just where it's stored. Kind of like the pictures. Your pictures are there.
oh,
See them from
right.
the Photos app. Does that make sense?
It should be on my iTunes, all these.
Yes, exactly. So you don't need to access this place, okay?
Uh-huh.
All technical stuff. If you were to mess up with any one of these, all your music disappears. All your music goes away.
Right.
So once again, there's no reason you should ever get
Right.
into the music. Does that make
Oh, I
sense, you
see.
guys? Why
Yeah.
I'm telling you to
Yeah.
hide it? But
Yeah.
worst case scenario, if you need it for some reason, there it is. Go to the Macintosh hard drive, use
Right.
it, right?
Okay, so
I
my
give-
Macintosh that is on my desktop shouldn't even be on my desktop, right?
New computers don't show it either. Yeah. If so, you can just trash it. It's just a shortcut. And today we're going to talk a lot about shortcuts. So you can delete this, put it in the trash.
I can trash it.
You have to, you have
Okay.
to
Or I
do-
can drag it to the trash.
Oh,
Scary.
yeah. Well, it won't-
I don't know. My trash is hidden behind that.
It's there. It's there. You need to put your mouse tip on the trash. You didn't have your mouse tip on the
Here
trash.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Put it in the trash.
just as I'm dragging the trash.
Or you know what? Better even than trashing it. Go ahead. Let's do this. Let's go to the Finder because you probably have it set here. Go to the Finder settings. That's even better.
Mhm.
And then sidebar. And just tell it not to show you the hard disk right there. So unclick hard disk.
Oh, sidebar.
Unclick that.
hmm.
Okay, you can also unclick connected servers and Bonjour drivers. You can disconnect those too. And this is here, Bonjour computers. You can disconnect that one.
Oh, bonjour, computer.
And there you go. So if you ever also want to bring back Denise, here you bring it back up, right? So basically,
Oh,
this is
That's
where,
where I saw it. I knew I saw it somewhere else. Yeah.
this is where you choose what to see in the sidebar.
Uh-huh.
And you guys, we did this last week or the week before. So people who don't remember what this is all about, Finder settings, we chose what we wanted to see in this sidebar. And this is where I told you guys to turn these things off. So if you're not sure, you weren't here, oops, this is the time to do that, right? Leave,
Mhm.
do not
Mhm.
have those things
Mhm.
on. And now you can turn this one off too. Turn it off. And then external, these should stay. Okay, cool. We can turn that off.
Okay, great.
Interestingly enough, that one is still there. So yeah, I think you didn't completely trash it. But anyway, there we go. That's a great question. Now go back to your desktop and choose, for example, documents.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. And then you get direct access to all your stuff, which by the way, is in the cloud. Okay, and you can
Right.
test.
Mhm.
Right. So good. Cool.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much.
You're
I'm
welcome.
sorry, it was a long process. I'm sorry.
No, hey, I made it long because instead of just quick answer, I used your computer as a demo. So please never apologize for staying on. If you're on, it's because I'm using you for people to learn. It's not like people should be tuned out right now. You should have really opened your Finder windows. You should have gone to the settings and turned things on and off like I was showing Denise. I want to make sure that people understand that when someone asks to share their screen and I help them, every now and then it's like, oh, here, click on that because something was wrong and it's only for them. 99.9% of times, I keep teaching. You should open yours and see if your settings are correct, okay? I'm not just helping Denise waiting. I kind of assume that that's clear, but in case it's not clear, I want to make it clear to everyone that being on for a long time is because I choose to keep making a point that everyone should it's a point that everyone should learn from, right? It's a point I'm making where I'm hoping everyone will take the time to do something about whatever it is that I'm doing, okay? So never apologize for staying on too long. If you're there, it's because it's useful for everyone, okay? All right. Let's keep going. Now, Molly, your hand was up. It came down. Did you get your question answered?
No, I had trouble with my mouse. As far as the right click for trash, it stopped working. I use the mouse with a battery, so maybe that's a problem. Maybe I have to change the battery.
Does the mouse work at all? Because if it works.
Yes, it
at all-
does.
No,
It
so
does.
what's possible is that you turned off the feature of the right click. Do you want to share your screen and I'll walk you to it? You guys,
No, I did.
I've shown before how to turn on the feature for right click. Here, let's let me move my mouse. Yeah, let's get
This
rid of,
right.
this is your mail, right? So let's quit.
Yeah, get this set up with that. Okay.
All right.
Y- yeah.
Now I'm concerned about this that you have here next. So everyone remember that when I talk about the docs, let me just explain my concern first before you do anything about it. There is a line and then came the trash at the very end. And in between the trash and that line is documents that are
Oh,
currently,
that's right here.
right? And you have so many. Do you know what these are? So that's my email. Okay, so it shows you, so you don't need to go to that. Hover over this next one.
Oh, this one.
Hover over that one. That's a new message. Click on that. It looks like it's an empty.
Oh, it's empty.
Yeah, just click on it. It looks
Click
like
it.
it's empty.
Okay, now see if I could use the right click.
No,
See
no,
if-
you don't need a right click. You need just a regular click.
a regular click.
Click. A simple click.
Simple click.
Yeah.
I
there's
did.
Weird happening there. Okay, try any of these
Okay.
because this is strange. Click on one of these little earth shapes. These earth shapes, not the,
Oh.
click on that. Are you doing a regular click, not a right click, huh?
No, a regular click.
So I'm not sure why all of these are there. It's like they got and they're not even, it's it shows you what it is. It's linked to Victoria's course. It's Fred Kirkert showing what it is, but you can't seem to open them, right? Okay, let's see if we can go to your settings then. Can you open your settings?
Sure,
That
sure.
work?
See.
Here, right here.
I'm on Finder, but I haven't.
No, I don't need your Finder. The Finder is like your mouse isn't, okay, go here. Can you open the settings?
I don't see it. Oh, here. No, I don't see it.
Okay,
I'm
move your mouse
sorry.
all the way down to your dock.
Okay.
You see pink on your dock.
Oh,
There,
yeah. Oh, there it is.
setting, yeah. But see, nothing's opening, so something's wrong with your mouse.
With the mouse.
So do you have a touchpad?
Yeah, I have this thing, this old thing.
Okay, plug that one in and let's see, because we need to go and see what's happening with your mic. If it were the batteries, it wouldn't be at all,
It could be the battery.
but then it wouldn't even be working. That's the part that's weird. Okay, connect your old one. You guys see how she was clicking on stuff and nothing was happening? That wasn't about. Oh, you were drawing some stuff in there. Maybe it's the zoom. No, so weird. It's like your mouse is turned into. Okay, did you turn it? Do you have the new mouse now? The old.
Yes, the
cable
old
one?
mouse.
Okay,
Yes.
let's give it a try again. Now go click on here on the settings again, because every
On
time
this,
you, yeah, open.
I'm having.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah,
to
it
get
looks like
this.
it's not responding to you very well.
Yeah. I'm trying to move.
Yeah, I can see how it's
Okay.
raggedy. Okay, click on that. Okay, at least this one's working. Now let's go to the mouse settings of the one that's not working, which is there.
Oh, we'll have to move this over.
Yeah, at least this mouse is working. The other one wasn't working.
Here's
So
the mouse.
here.
Okay. There you go.
Let's see. So it says it's 57% battery. Okay, so
Mhm.
means it's okay. And it says the secondary click is turned on, so it should
Yeah.
be working.
Mhm.
Do you have it connected on Bluetooth? You should, because it was moving. Can you go up here to the, no, see where your mouse is? Follow my pink line. I'm going way up. Keep going
Yeah,
up.
I see it.
Go up, 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 up,
Oh,
up,
up. Oh, scroll here. Yeah.
to
It's
your control panel. I'm making
mhm.
an arrow. It's hard on your blue. The arrow doesn't show too well. Do you see where I'm asking you to go? Let me
Right here.
color of my
Oh,
paint.
where? Right here?
No. Let me put yellow on. Do you see now
Yeah.
a bit better? No. Follow that line. Yes, go, go, go. Follow the line to the top. Go, go, go,
To
go,
the
go,
top.
go.
To-
Keep going. There's your control panel. That's where I wanted you to go. The pink wasn't showing too well. Okay.
Okay.
So click on Bluetooth and let's see if your mouse, click on Bluetooth and let's see if your mouse is connected. So click on that and now click on Bluetooth right here, right? No, keep going where you were. Keep going where you were.
Oh, here is Bluetooth.
Mhm. Click on that.
Okay, it's on.
Okay, click here on this arrow.
Okay.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
don't
the arrow, the arrow.
stay where you are. Put your mouse over Bluetooth. It's hard because things happen only, yeah, there we go. Now that your mouse is on it, you see a little arrow right there. Otherwise that arrow disappears. So move
Okay.
to the end of the word Bluetooth. There's this teensy little thing, which is an arrow. Keep an inch to your right there. Click on that. Yes.
Good.
Mm-hmm. So Magic Mouse seems to be connected. So
Uh-huh.
it's connected and the secondary click is on and the battery is up. So I don't know what's wrong with your mouse. but
Okay.
it's
John
working.
Wells or Katherine Johnson.
I'll go back to this mouse.
Go to this one and then try it again later and see. It was not, your mouse was leaving, every time you clicked, it would leave a little tiny black dot here. It left like pencil marks. It was in this like right, when you were clicking around, so you see these little gray dots each time you clicked on, it would leave this little thing. Anyway, now that you have a mouse that is working,
Yes, thank you very much.
wait, can you go to one of these to see if you can open them and close them? Yeah, click on that one. Just click. See, it takes you to this place. If you want it, fine. If not, get rid of it. These are all mails that you've received it, okay? So open
Okay.
one of these that you've been minimizing instead of closing, and
Oh, okay, it's working. It's working.
so open each one of these, and if you want them there, fine, but if you don't want them there, get rid of them. You seem to even have 2 emails that you've already trashed, so it doesn't even
Mhm,
to do.
mhm,
So
mhm.
these you need to drag, click on, and go to options and get rid of.
Mhm.
Or just drag it out. Yeah, dragging it out, what you just did works too. Yeah, remove, okay? So these are all little emails and stuff that you've left open and minimized, and then you forgot about them. So you can get rid of probably 90% of these, okay? I'll
Mhm.
let you do it on your own because ideally you wouldn't have, because today we're going to talk about this, you guys. This place here is actually something we're about to talk about. So I want to make sure that before we talk about it, if you have something like this, okay, do it a few more times so you know what I'm asking you to do. Click on one. Well, you need, oh, I don't want you to remove it that wide.
Oh,
Maybe,
oh,
I mean,
oh.
if you click on it
Okay.
and get rid of it, that's fine. But don't you want to see what they are? Or you think they're a
No,
mistake?
no, I know what they are.
Oh, okay. So then if you don't need them there, then just remove them, like, which is what you were doing, yeah.
Mhm. Okay,
So
thank you.
and you can, you don't need to have them there anymore. Okay, perfect. I stopped your share. Everyone look at that space. Look at that space between your computer, trash, okay, and your first line, okay? So I have 3 things there. Molly had like 17. How many do you have? Go ahead and go to the chat and tell me between the trash in your dock and the first black line, how many things do you have there? Some of you will say nothing. You'll have the trash and a black line. Others will have 1, 2, or 3. Go to the chat. Like I am going to say that I have 3 things in there. So I'm going to put the number 3. Okay. All right. Some people are saying 1, 3, nothing. Okay. We're going to talk about that space. Remember, I kept telling you, organize your documents, and now I'm going to teach you a way to bring things back, okay? So this is one of the ways to bring things back. So that's why I want to have, okay, so downloads and Zoom, all right? Technically, okay, keep going. I'm not getting everyone's answers. I'm not sure if everyone's checking the right spot, so make sure you keep answering, you keep checking. I want between your trash and that first black line, how many documents do you have? Okay, and I have 3 documents. 3 things is what I have there between my trash and that first line. Okay, Jill has 17. Okay, kind of like Molly. Good. See, now questions start happening. What is preview? Good. Hold on, I'll answer in a minute. Okay. Okay, good. No, 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 it's not good or bad, Jill, that you have stuff. It's a finding expedition, so don't worry. Okay. So not sure that everyone's answered, but I'm gonna keep going as if you had all answered. So what's the good and the bad, and what's the point of that space is what we're gonna talk about right now, okay? So remember, what I'm talking about is the space between the trash and that first line. Then there's another line, all right? So there's one line and two lines, and they do different things, okay? So this first, that line, and then the trash. Okay, purple seems to red. This works for the pin wasn't very visible. From here to here, you have shortcuts to applications, okay, to apps.
Mhm,
So these will all be apps,
mhm.
that first, second line. Then this portion, the one where we just discovered that Molly had all that stuff in, okay? This is, if you want minimized stuff, okay? And we're going to talk about what that's, when I say stuff, just minimized, or, and this is the one that you might not know, shortcuts. Ah, it's so hard to write with a mouse. And on that computer, on the other computer, I have a graphic pen, but on this one, I just have a mouse. Shortcuts to da-da-da-da, files. Files. What have we been organizing all this time? We've been organizing files, okay? That report you're writing, that novel you're writing, the taxes you're doing, whatever. This is shortcuts to files. This is shortcuts to apps, okay? And then this is a recent apps. Okay, bear with me. When you open a Finder window, this recents that we talked about quite a bit is a recent to files. Recent, okay, the yellow doesn't work for this. So let me, this recents is recent files, right? And if you're not sure and you don't remember, go ahead and open your file, your recents app. Go open a Finder window, click on recents, and you'll see that these are apps that you've files that you've used recently. Okay. The counterpart here is recent apps that you have used. And this is the key, that do not exist already in your shortcut apps. So notice that this, and this are not apps that live in my dock. Okay. If you just look at the drawings, you'll see this, and this just don't exist here. Does that make sense, you guys? So this is Finder window shows us files in general, and here recent files. The dock shows us shortcuts to apps and recent apps. As long as they're not already sitting in your dock, then it's recent apps that you've used that aren't sitting in your docs. So this little last piece, the one that we were just checking out with Molly that you just all said 1, 2, 3, all the way to 17, this is the only place on the dock where you can put files. So minimized apps or shortcuts to files. This is hard to read. It seems like it's tiles. So this is what we're going to take advantage of right now to begin to make some distinction as to where should I put stuff that I want to use that I want to get access to quickly, but I don't want them to be in my trash. Now, this is a little bit hard to read, so I'm going to delete this again and write this one more time, shortcuts to, maybe that F is higher, easier to understand. There, I'm a bit less. So if you guys are good at doing screenshots and you want to do a screenshot right now, please do that. So that you can understand a bit later what this is. Okay, and I'm actually going to do a screenshot of the whole thing. Okay, so why does this matter? When you want to keep something easily accessible, you can put it here. So watch, I'm going to leave all this writing in there. I'm going to go to my documents where I told you to put everything, and I'm going to say, you know what? This file is extremely important because this one that says, I don't know, templates, I'll say this one here is the taxes that I'm working on, okay? Or this one is, you know, the novel I'm writing, or this one is all that stuff that you truly daily open, right? So say that this is something, let me just go ahead and say that this is my, my novel. My new novel. All right, so this one isn't my new novel, okay? It's really important to me to access it quickly. I don't want to have to go into my documents, into my place to grab it. So I'm going to go over here, watch what I'm doing, and I'm placing it right there. Now it happens to be an Excel file, guys. Don't worry about that. But so did it disappear from here? Did it disappear from this area? Yes, no, maybe. I'm not getting any answers. I want people to be watching.
I don't think so. I think it's still there.
It's still there. As much as if I go to applications and I look at the Zoom app, right? It's still there, or any app that's there, and yet it's also in my doc, right? If I look at my photos, it's there, and it's also, here it is, photos. I look at Safari, and if I go to the S, there it is, Safari. So just because it's a shortcut, it doesn't disappear from the place it lives in. Same with this document. I want this one, which I'm writing, to be on my doc. So that's where I get to put it, right next to the trash in the doc. Let's say that I want this one there as well. So I'm going to drag it over there. Both of these happen to be Excel files. Let me grab this one, which is a Pages. I put it in there. So now I've got 3 files. So remember, this is minimized apps or shortcuts to files. Minimized apps would be these. This is my minimized app when I got Safari out of the way, right? I minimized this app by going to this little yellow line and I minimized it, so it went in there. This is my minimized calendar. Here it is, my calendar, and I went out of the way, so I went and minimized the calendar, so it goes and sits there. But these 3 are my minimized files that I just put in there so that next time I want to write, I don't have to have it hanging out on my desktop. And why do I want it hanging out on my desktop? Well, what if I'm in Safari, right? And so what if so many times my files fill my screen, right? And now I want to start writing, yeah? And I would have to get rid of this, which is, you know what Denise did? She moved it out of the way. And I said, wait, guys, don't do that. If you want it out of the way, I said, minimize it, right? But say you have 2 or 3 or 4 different things open, but you want to start writing. Well, the easiest thing, your doc is always available. Go to your doc and click on and start writing again. Does that make sense? So this is a place to put in files that you want quick access to. Now, I will close this now because I do want to have nothing in the way. So say that I don't need to write that anymore. Watch, here's my new novel, right? In my Finder window. If I say, oh, I'm done with this chapter. I'm done. I published this novel. I can just remove it. Boom. I removed it as a shortcut. But see, it's still there. So these are just shortcuts to the thing. So say that I've already fixed my car. I get rid of it. Or I'm done with that one. I get rid of it. All the files are still there. See that? This is just a place to put them in there temporarily. This is the calendar app. If I don't need it anymore and I actually close it, then I'm not minimizing it. And I'm down to 2. I'm down to just trash and downloads, trash and downloads. When you first buy your computer, if you've added nothing to it, that should have always the trash and the downloads. Some of you might have gotten rid of the downloads because I see some people said nothing. Most of the times you would have trash and downloads. So how do you know that said downloads? Well, because when you hover over it, it says downloads. So if I click on it, it's all the things I've downloaded lately and I get to open it up. I'm going to get rid of all the writing in a minute so that you'll see better. But see, my downloads opened up. And so it's a quick access to anything I've downloaded. Say you're online and you download something, you don't know where to find it. You can open a Finder window, right? Or you can just go to downloads over here and that would be the last thing you've opened. I'm going to show you more about that because some of you have it in different format. But those are the 2 things that should live there. That's it. And then there's my first line. And then you're like, okay, the most recent file that I've used is this one and this one. And it seems like I need to be able to use this one again. Okay, so let's drag it down here. Boom. Once it's here, I can access it really quickly by clicking on that to open it. And when I'm done using it, I just remove it. Okay. Before I take any questions, let me clear up all these drawings because I just wanted to be clear that this side is apps that we've left in the doc because we use them all the time. Otherwise, they shouldn't be there. If there's something you don't use, just drag it out, remove it. Why? Because it'll still be here under applications. And that's something we covered in the first introduction to the Mac, right? So for those of you who missed that class, anything that's here that you don't use, you can just drag out and remove. If you don't use Apple TV, drag out and remove it. I keep them here because these is a sample computer, but you don't need to keep stuff here. If you never listen to podcasts, drag out and remove it. Leave only the 5, 10 things that you do a lot in this area, okay? And then over here is files. If you find now, do that. Go to your documents, find a file that I've told you to get off the desktop, and I said, please put it there, grab it and drag it there. I'm going to clear all my drawings now, and now I'm going to start taking questions. All right. Let's see who's first. Mary Ellen.
Yeah,
Let me stop you for 1 second. For those of you for whom that made sense and it kind of like, oh, okay, I see it. I've tried it and it's working. Give me a yes. If it's not working, you're trying it and it's not working, give me a no. Okay, so yeses and nos for what I just showed. Yes, Mary Ellen.
yeah. When I have my Finder window open, I don't have apps, downloads, recent showing in the sidebar.
All right, share your screen. It's possible that it's minimized or it's possible that they've been turned off. Hi, Justine, by the way. I saw you pop in when I was talking. Nice to see you. All right, share your screen, please. Perfect. All right. So yeah, looks like your favorites are missing. So let's head over to the Finder and let's open up the Finder settings. Yep. Sidebar, and it does say that you're showing recents. Movies.
Applications and downloads also aren't
I'm
showing.
wondering, yeah, so I'm wondering if you have them lower, like you moved them, maybe you moved them lower than visual. So go back to the Finder here, go back to the one that's missing, so it's missing, and now scroll down because you might have it at the bottom. You might have moved it out of the way. So start scrolling down, down, down. With your mouse, do you know how to scroll? Yeah, you moved it way down there. So now grab the word favorites and drag it up to the top. Yeah. Oh, go back to favorites. Yeah. Click on, yeah, and then drag it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. It should be at the very top. Up, 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 up. Keep going. You're doing great. And above iCloud, one more. Above iCloud. Yeah, there, let go. Perfect. Now you moved it up. Okay,
Okay.
you dragged it out of the view, but there they are, recent applications, downloads. pictures, which I have recommended to get rid of it, but whatever, there it is. Go ahead and click on it for a second. I want to see what you have in pictures. Okay. Oh, because you have your Lightroom stuff. Okay, for people who have their Lightroom stuff, that's the only time it makes sense to have their pictures. Those are your catalogs. Okay. And then these are all the photos that you put in your photos library. Okay. That said, you shouldn't be accessing your catalogs through here anyway. If you do any of this, you totally mess up your Lightroom. The only reason you should access any of this is through opening your Lightroom app. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is still dangerous to have because you shouldn't be accessing that nor that. You should really not be accessing any of these things. So ideally, you would get rid of this from your dock as well. And you can drag it out or you can just turn off this little checkbox right there. But anyway, and there you go. Now it's a safer way to not mess up any of your files. So there you go. So let me just show you one more time. Head over back to the Finder window here. Let me change the color of yellow. Isn't working for this computer. Let me go back to pink. Okay, so go back here to favorites.
Okay.
So everyone try this. When your mouse is pointing to the word favorites, then this little arrow appears. If you're not pointing to it, it's not there. So move your mouse out of the way. See how there's no little arrow there? It's only when your mouse is on the word favorite. So go ahead and go point again to the word favorites. There it is. Now that little arrow appears. Now go to that little arrow. And this is what I first thought might have happened. You collapse your favorites, right? So people sometimes don't see it because they've collapsed it. So now click on it again and expand it. Great. But in your case, at some point you had grabbed and moved it all the way down there by mistake. And so it was at the bottom. So what we haven't talked about yet, and we need less of, is tags. And so if you get rid of tags, that might help not get rid of it, but hover over the word tags. And same thing. Now you can collapse them. There we go. So now you would have seen your favorites because they would have been there. See what I mean? But
Yes.
expanded, it was at the bottom of all those, and now we moved it at the top. Okay. So all of these are movable. You could put iCloud on top. You could whatever on top, but the ones that we need the most, and that's why they're called favorites, because it's like, which of all the files on your computer do you want to get to the I'm about to teach something totally new, you guys. Everyone, ears and eyes open. Stop doing whatever you're doing and focus on my screen. Let's head over to Documents folder. And I don't know if you did or didn't do the homework, but this is for everyone, in particular those who did it, okay? Is there any of these folders that is truly important to you? Because I see that you left a lot of folders in the desktop, okay?
Yeah, it brought, when I got the computer, they put everything on my old PC on this computer. So I did a lot of the homework, but I still have a lot more to do.
That's great. Now, for anyone else who feels like that they left everything over here, right? And for whatever reasons, I'm not making you wrong. For whatever reasons, if you have stuff that is folders that are still on your desktop, right? I will undo this after this call, this Zoom if you don't want to, but can you trust me and grab this class files and put it in your documents folder for a second? And then I'll show you a trick. No. What are you doing? Click again so that all your Finder appears. Yeah, sometimes when you click on the desktop, yeah, just click again. Okay, grab the class files, and from here, oh, you might have Zoom in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab that and move it. Yeah, no, don't click it, just drag it and put it in your documents folder, which is kind of what the homework was. Or you can just drop it in there too. Yeah, dropped. Okay, perfect. So now, guys, and I know this is what do you call it? One of those like trust exercises, because I'm saying, trust me. Okay, I'm going to show you. Everyone, guys, stop questioning, writing, focus. If you're in the bathroom, run back. This is a key part of today's class, okay? So I just told her, trust me, get rid of this folder from the desktop and put it in your documents folder. So for the time being, she did. Here it is. It's in her documents folder, class files, documents, iCloud Drive. Okay. And I told you I'm going to show you some really cool ways of how to access it quickly. I'm going to show you 3 ways of how to access it quickly. Neither of them mean having the folder in the desktop, okay? There's 3 options, and I don't want to confuse you. There's 3 different options. Choose one that works for you. You don't need 3. The first one, the one that I just taught you, grab this folder from here where it's living now and drag it right here in between the trash. So grab it from the little icon, yeah. Now you have to click away because since you clicked on it and it's got like, yeah. So drag it and put it, not in the trash, but right, no, not right there. Yeah, there, let go. Perfect. And now close this window so we have one window less that's open. Okay, and then let's close this one because we don't need that either. That way we don't make things confused. Okay, so here's your class files that used to live here. And I've been saying move things, right? So you did, you put it in the documents folder. Now I said drag that folder, which you did, guys, down there. Okay, so it's here instead of here. Well, you go, what's the point? What's the difference? Well, here, it's a pointer to open it in the right place from the documents folder. Here, it was living in the desktop, which is not a good place for it. It occupies space that the computer needs to operate, right? So now it's in the right place. And if you want to access it quickly, go ahead and close the Finder window. Right, and now say that you need to access that folder. Go click on there. Click on it. Yep. Open class files. There it is. You've got your class. She's using her Finder in column view for those of you who've gotten accustomed to use it in list view. So in her class files, here she's got her Photoshop, her classes, all the class files. Okay. So was that much harder than this, you guys?
No,
Okay. That's one way. And I'm going to repeat these a few times. One was to drop it there. Now, the good news is if she doesn't need that folder anymore, it's summer, she stopped taking classes, whatever, you can just remove it from here again, and your folder's still where it is, right? This was just a quick shortcut to that place. Does that make sense? So that's one way. You have to remove it a little bit higher, yeah, for it to go away. Now you've removed it, okay? So one way, first way, is to put it in the dock. That's one way to quickly access a folder that I've told you, get rid of it from the desktop, is putting it in the dock. Okay, that's one way. The second way, make it a Finder favorite. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Here you have your favorites in your Finder, right? The original question, you share your screen because you couldn't find your favorites. Does everyone see their Finder favorites? These are just shortcuts. In fact, with Denise's question earlier, I showed you how the applications here isn't the real applications. It was just a shortcut to the applications, right? Because I showed you how if you go to Mary's MacBook Pro, click on users, click on Mary's, and there was the applications, right? So this was just a quick access to it. So we can put quick access to other stuff in here. For example, grab your class files folder and put it right here under favorites. There, let go. Perfect. So now close your Finder window. Yeah. And now you're like, okay, I need to go find those class files. Where are they? They're not here anymore. Open your Finder window. And you don't need to go Finder window usually from down there. And go to your class files. There you are, which you're viewing an icon. You might want to change the view, but the first time you open it by default, the rest of them you're seeing as column. Now you're seeing it as list, but anyway. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? So now you can go back to your documents. I'm going to repeat all of them. Any folder that's truly important, if you're working on your taxes, put your taxes in there. That said, maybe you're not working on all your taxes. If you open this one, you might have 2024 tax. Then drag that folder there. Work on it until the day that you're done with your taxes. Once you've submitted them and you're done, you can take it. Yeah, there we go. And then say that now it's May and you've paid and you don't need your taxes anymore. Just remove it. Just drag it out. Yeah. Perfect. Now, if you go to your documents, the taxes are still there. You just got rid of the quick little access to it. Whenever, yeah. So your taxes, if you were to go to the T, are still there, okay? All you did was put a little quick access to it and then you got rid of it. So especially when you have these many things, can you imagine if every time you did your taxes, you had to scroll the way down to the T and then found your taxes, when instead you can just have it there. That's an absolute favorite of mine. I use that religiously. If you look at my real computer's sidebar, I have like 7 folders here, one for each class I teach. They're all living in my documents folder, but they're inside of like 5 levels of folders. They're inside of my SPCC classes. They're inside of my an SPCC folder. Then I had admin. Then I have classes. Then I have Mac classes. And then I have level 1, level 2, level 3. I'm folder within folder within folders. So I just drag it out here so that I have it handy while I'm teaching it. When I'm not teaching it, boom, I disappear it. And it still lives there. Okay. So I use this one a lot. All right. I'm running through all 3 and then we're going to do one at a time. And then the third one, make an alias, we call it on the world of Macs, on your desktop. This is my least favorite, but this one is the one that totally repeats, makes everyone's life, those of you who really like having your stuff on your desktop, like you just need it on your desktop. It needs to be on your desktop because otherwise you'll forget where it is. I got you. Let's go back to that class files. Can you go find it, please? You'd have to, it's so easy actually. You go over here because remember, we just made a quick access to it. Mary Ellen, we made a quick access to it, remember? So you don't even have to go too far. Yeah, click on, yeah, don't change its name. Yeah. So you are in your class files. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. So back up 1 so that you can go back to the general documents. Okay. So now let's go to that folder. Let's go find the folder. So you do need to scroll to the C. All right. You passed. There it is. Okay. Watch, you guys. This is the final one. The one that replicates. It's going to end up here again. But this time you're going to put a shortcut on your desktop, not the actual folder. Make a right click on the class files. No, right click. Okay, right click. No, that you double click. Go back. Okay, have you used the right click before? Now you need to go find it again. Do you know how to use the right click? Mary?
I thought, well, I guess not.
Okay, so do you have a mouse or a touchpad?
Touchpad.
Okay, 2 finger downs really quickly. Nope, not on the name anyway, because that you might get into it. So now you have to click away and come back because you need to eliminate that. Yeah, so 2 fingers down. There, perfect. Make alias. Okay, so look, we have class files now, and we have class files alias. You see that? Move your mouse out of the way a bit so that it like click away. Because whenever you click on it again, it's ready. That's a feature that I don't like about the new thing, that when you click on the desktop, everything disappears. I really don't like that. Okay, so see how now this is the original folder, you guys. And now she did a right click and made an alias, and it says class files alias. This is a word for shortcut. For some reason, it's called alias, but this is another word that Mac uses for shortcut. Grab this one now from the icon over here and drag it back here to where you had the original one. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and pop it over there. There we go. So if you remember when we started her share, she had the class files here, and I said, trust me, put them in the documents folder. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're in exactly the same place as before, but this is a shortcut to it. This is a shortcut to the folder, which is now in the right place. It's in your documents folder. So if you want to get to these class files, no different than before. The only difference, move your mouse a teensy bit because you're in the crucial spot. See that teensy little arrow right there? For you guys who are watching on her screen as a share, you might not see it, but if you make your own aliases, you'll see there's a little arrow right there. Okay? That is an alias. Basically, an alias. For some reason, they haven't changed this name. This is a shortcut. Okay? This is a shortcut. And when you it looks exactly like before, but this is an alias. If you do the same to that, and to that, and to that, and to that, and to that, all of these folders, popping them into the documents folder and then making an alias and popping it out, you can make your computer look, just look exactly like it's looking now, but it will be aliases, which will be much healthier for your computer. I don't particularly prefer this choice. I much prefer, on a personal level now, that, because I can handle all my files or whatever, or that for things that I'm temporarily working on, that's the best. But this should be, for those of you who I kept saying, trust me, there's a way to make things look the same way, but your computer will work better. This is it. Put them in the documents folder. Right click alias and then drag it out and put it exactly where you used to have it. And you can have 20 of these. And as long as they're aliases, they don't really take up space on your computer. They're just shortcuts, just like these are shortcuts to your applications. And this is a shortcut to your application. By doing that, you are making that be a shortcut to your application. I would recommend then to leave only in the desktop the things that you truly cannot find any other way. Like I swear to you, Diana, I've tried moving it. I can't find it on my documents. I can't find it anywhere. Okay, make an alias and put it here. You can do it with files or with folders. Doesn't matter. You can do it with both. All right. I've been talking forever. I'm aware that Denise's hand is up after Mary Ellen's. So I'm going to clean everyone's answers right now. So I know, Denise, that your hand will be lowered, but I know you're next. So as soon as I clear it, go ahead and raise your hand again. So it's up. Everyone else, I showed 3 ways. Okay. 3 ways, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to leave this up and running. Please don't stop your share yet. I showed 1, 2, and 3. In the chat, I need you to go to the chat and tell me, I liked 1, which is the doc, 2, which is the favorite here, right? Like that one, that's the find your favorite, or 3, the alias, and say, I liked 1 and 3, or just write 1 and 3, or 1, 2, 3, or 2, only 2. Tell me which one you tried and you liked, and I will share them one by one. We're going to go through all 3 again. So if you have no idea, write in the chat, give me a question mark, like, I don't know, a question mark, like neither, right? And then, or ask me, like, Jill, can you please go over 2 again? Okay. So just write whatever you think. I just taught a long time with both Denise, which helped show you that this was shortcuts, and Mary Ellen's computer. I've shown you 3 very crucial things. I will go through them all over again. But those of you who were like, oh, this one's great because I tried it, tell me, I like that one, or I like these two. And the ones who go like, I have no idea, or please repeat, give me a question mark, or write down, please repeat. Okay? So I'm leaving Mary Ellen's up so that everyone can see. The doc, drag it over here. That's good for quick ones. Like right now I'm working on taxes, for example. Okay, put the taxes there, work on it, work on it, work on it. And then when you're done, boom, it's gone. So that's a good one for just files that you don't even want a whole folder. You just want the file. Find your favorite stuff you need to access all the time, and you don't want to have to go into your documents to go find. Then you just drag it out right there. And then the alias on the desktop for people who want to keep your desktop looking the same because they really aren't willing to change yet until they learn the other two, then just pull out an alias. All right. I'm seeing answers. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so I'm seeing 3, 1, 2, 2, 3,
Two, two,
question
two.
mark, 1, 1, and 3. Okay. No idea. Good answer. Please go over this one again. Good answer. So, I think only Tracy said 1 in the doc. Everyone else, oh no, Denise also said 1. Okay. And then I've had a couple of 3s and a couple of 2s. Have everyone
I
answered? Because if you
Two.
don't understand, question marks are a great place to be. Okay, 2 is
Two,
your choice. Okay. All right.
two,
I'm gonna stop Mary Ellen's share.
two.
Now, raise your hands one by one if you have questions,
Oh,
and
no, I'm two.
I
two.
will, thank you. Go ahead and you can write it in the chat. That way it stays.
I can't get it.
The chat you can't get?
No, I can't, I'm number 2.
Yeah, I
I'm
got,
number
yeah,
2.
I heard, yeah. Since you're not muted,
Okay,
I've been
but I
hearing.
can't type anything in. It's frozen.
Your mouse again not working,
I don't
interesting.
know.
Let me just, here, if I write here and you go there right now when I wrote here, is it live? Would it move your mouse to type message here again and type?
Frozen.
Well, that's with your new mouse, with the one with the cable.
Yeah, I put in this one. It's
Oh, well, I don't know then. For now, I'll keep going. Okay.
yeah, keep going, keep going.
So now I have a lot of different numbers. So not everything works for everyone. Okay. So now I'm gonna go over them again. People who had questions, put in a question mark. Is it a specific procedure that you want, or all 3? Or like Julie wasn't even there, right? So I'll go over them again. But at this time, I'm going to do it myself in my computer. Okay. And then I'm more than happy to share other people with other people on their computers. So I'm going to share my desktop right now. Now I'm in the other computer. I'm in the Finder window that has Sequoia, the computer that has Sequoia, not the Finder window. Okay. So I have some things dropped in there. I don't have any folders, right? I'm going to go ahead and open my Finder window, and I'm going to say, you know what? I really am working on a file right now that right now, okay? It's a class file that I'm going to be using it in class a lot, and I want it handy because I'm adjusting it, and when you actually make, oh, that was the request for break. It might be a good time to take a break and start afresh, but give me a second. Say that this is a file that I'm currently working in, and I have to adjust these sunsets. Here it is. Here's a quick preview of it. And I need to spend some time with it. And I don't want to have to come find it because, it's buried deep in stuff. So this one I'm just going to grab and I'm going to put it right there. So that's method 1, right? Now, the only negative about this method, it doesn't show me a little preview of it unless it's a straight photograph. If we're a JPEG, it would show me a little preview of it. Otherwise, you have to hover over it to see, and it's oh, that's the cloud sunset just awesome. Okay, that's the one it is, right? Okay, that was one method. The other method was Well, I like having things on my desktop. So if this is something I'm working with for a long enough time in my life to make it worth it, I'm going to right click and I'm going to make an alias for it. Yes, I can do that for a file as well. Okay. Now, the thing is, by the way, that I did it in Resense, which is a bad place. I didn't even notice I was in Resense because Resense is not a place to work from. That's in my downloads. So I'm going to go to my downloads. I apologize. And I'm going to go to the place where it was. Okay. So it was, that's downloads. Where was my Photoshop download? Here. Okay. So here's my alias. So let me just do that again so that you can see it. Here's my file. Cloud Sunset Adjustment Mask. I'm going to right click and make an alias.
Yes.
So here's my alias of the same thing. See that? And now I'm going to drag it on
Move it here.
my desktop. You
Mhm.
see that arrow there? Let me put it in a place where it's bright.
Yeah.
See that arrow there? That tells me that this is an alias other than the name. Okay. And then the only thing I cannot do with a file, I can't put a file here as a favorites. Okay. I can't grab the file and put it here as a favorite. It won't let me. It's only for folders, places that hold things. And the holder of that folder, if I go into it, see this file, sorry, I don't have it. It's suddenly it's not as clear because I don't have it in the same mode. I'm opening a different folder. I apologize. This one. Finish up close files. Okay, look at where it is. I would have to go into my computer, my SBCC teacher, my downloads, my V2 version 2 Photoshop class files to find that. And I don't want to do all that. I just want to drag it over here. Boom. So now when it's time to teach, instead of having to go find it somewhere in my computer, where did I put that thing? I don't know. Oh, there it is. There's where my class files are. And there's that file that I just was looking at. Okay. So this is my favorite version. I'm going to come back and one by one work on these with you guys. But the big difference between there and there is that here I can put a folder, not a file. Here I can put a file and or a folder. I could even grab this and drag it here and put a folder in there as well. So this one could be a file or a folder, either way. This one can only be a folder. And then this one here, I can do an alias of a file or a folder. So the only restriction to this method is it has to be the folder that holds the files, right? Not that final file itself. Here, I can put a file, and as an alias, I can also put in a file, okay? So that, let me actually go back to the folder that's in my downloads, that's in here. Say, right click, alias. Then I can drag the alias for that right here. So this is an alias, and I'm going to put it here again just so you can see the arrow. Okay, the only reason I brought them down here is so you can see the arrows, because there's that little white patch of green there. So there's an alias versus this is the file itself. So all the megabytes of this file are living on my desktop, which is not good. So these two, on the other hand, are just shortcuts, are tiny, teensy weensy little files. It's just a button that I click to point to make that open. It's just a quick little access. This is just a little bit of code, where's no weight versus all of these, which are photos, screenshots, and stuff, take up a lot of space in your computer, and you need to have them out of the desktop. All right. So first one, put it in the dock. Second one, put it in the favorites. Third one, make an alias. Okay. So now I've explained them again. That doesn't mean they're working for you yet.
Yeah.
Explore them. We're going to take our break first. And then when we come back, write down, if you had a question right now, write it down. Because when you come back from your break, you're like, oh, I don't know what I had to ask you. No, write it down. Take a piece of paper, write down, or put it in the chat right now. Ask me your question in the chat, right? That way, when we come back from break, you can ask me, well, what if? Well, how come? Well, why? Well, whatever. And you don't need to be able to do all three. Find one that works for you. Ideally, you have a spectrum of choices because this is better for that, this is better for that. But I'm giving you the choice. Keep everything the way it was in looks by keeping it with Alias on your desktop. Use the Finder and put it there. That's my favorite. Or put it down in the dock, which I do use for temporary things. I don't use it for like my classes because then I'd have a bunch in there. But I do use it for temporary things that I'm working on right now, just quick access. And then after that, I remove it. So practice, practice, practice. If for any reason you want to share your screen and have me show you physically, you do it so that you can get the mechanics of it. We'll do that after break, okay? Let me see. What time is it? It's 2:23. Oh, it's one of those that are hard for me to figure out. 15 minutes, somebody. 2:23, 3:33 plus 3.
3:37.
You be back at 3:37 p.m. Okay?
8.
You guys in 15.
Thank you, Deanna.
Oh, someone said it's 3:38. Is that what you said, Justine? Oh, because it moved to 2:24. Okay, between 3:37 and 3:38, be back.
I had my mic on. Honestly, I wasn't trying to tell you. I was just saying it to myself.
Perfect. No, no, no. I always want people to say that. So there it is, 3:38. Let's be back at 3:38. Bye.
I think it's because while you were talking about it, it went over from 23 to
I'm
20.
always like, should I add an extra minute just in case?
All right.
See you guys. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. My alarm didn't ring, or is it too soon? 3:37? Oh, 2:42. Oh, it didn't ring because it's not time yet? I'm torn. It was supposed to be 2:37, 2:42. That's my alarm, didn't go. Whoops, sorry, you couldn't hear me. So I'm really confused. Did the time
The time is up.
is up? What time?
Yes.
It wasn't 3, it was 2:40. It wasn't even, it should have been 2:47. Anyway, I set myself an alarm and then I've been busy and I suddenly looked up and went, oh my God. I'm so sorry. I was here right next to the computer too. I apologize. Next time when I say the time wrong, catch me. Because then I set a timer and an alarm, but this time the timer didn't. It's not gone yet because I obediently set it for 3:38, which is quite a while from now. Okay. Sorry for the returning back late. Okay. All right. Okay. So, the last question for the in the chat from Denise for option 3, which is making the alias. Why do you make an alias? Not just place the original file on the desktop, right? And then that one is an easy answer, the first part of the question, because that file that you put on the desktop, say that it's 10 megabytes. 10 megabytes times, say you put 20 of those, we're talking 200 megabytes. That space taken up harms your computer, especially if you're running out of space. Versus the alias that you put in there is maybe like 0.000001 of a megabyte. And I'm not even going into kilobytes, you understand. So that space the alias takes up takes no space, and the computer has all the space it needs to run. That desktop space is used by a computer to operate. It's an operational space. The computer needs that space to function, for the applications to run well. If you clobber it up, imagine you have a car with 4 seats, right? And then you have to pick up 4 friends, but you just went shopping and you filled your car with a Costco shop that's so huge, and then you still need to pick up 4 friends. Okay, everyone's going to push and shove and put things on top of their bodies, and you're going to fit those people. You're going to run home, but it's going to be a bad run, right? Versus everything you bought at Costco is in the trunk and the 4 people sit comfortably. It's just not the right space for it. Does that make sense, you guys?
No.
So that's why you put it in the documents folder, the trunk, and not the desktop, the seats. Okay.
Yeah, but that file contains the same thing than the.
Hold on. The second part of your question is wrong, which is why you're about to say what you're going to say. So listen. The second part of her question is, I suppose changes you make to duplicate files are transferred to the original file. That is not a duplicate file. That's why that question, that's why I said the first part of your question I'm answering. The second part where you're saying yes, but you're asking, no. An alias is not a duplicate file. And thank you for saying that, or I would have forgotten to explain it. That is such a great question you asked, which is why I love questions. Everything that I've done, 1, 2, and 3, are shortcuts. It's like putting a button to open the one file, but it is not a duplicate. So putting that alias on the desktop is just one little line of code that says the code that says, when you open this, please open that file that's sitting with all of its megabytes in the documents folder. It is not a duplicate. It is not a copy, changes, original, all of that. No. Okay. Nothing, nada, not a duplicate. It's just a pointer, just like the having this thing say calendar here, that is not a duplicate of the application here that says calendar. Where is my calendar? I don't have the calendar 2 times. That's just a quick piece of code that says, hey, when I click on this, please open that application. Okay. So when I say, when I click on this, please, when I click on this folder, please open that folder. to access these files, okay? Aliases or even shortcuts over here or anything on your dock or anything here. I'm not duplicating my folder. I'm just not having to go to my downloads, down to find it, opening it up and opening it from there. By putting it here, I did not make a duplicate. I just made a quick click link to access that one folder. That is a quick link to access that one file. This is a quick access to that folder, and this is a quick access to that folder. In fact, just by clicking it, notice that my Photoshop is not opening up, which I wasn't intending to, but that's because I clicked on it, and so my entire application just opened up. Now I'm going to close it. Okay? So none of these, everything I've just shown you does not duplicate a single thing, and I would have forgotten to mention that without your question. I so appreciate it. But is that clear now that these are just quick buttons, like a switch in your bedroom when you walk in and you turn on the switch? It's not a light and then the light's in the ceiling. It's a switch to turn on the light that's in the ceiling. Does that make sense, you guys? If that answer worked, everyone give me a yes.
Yeah,
So,
I have a question.
Justine, I like your answer. Justine says, think of an alias like a portal that takes you right into the folder. Yes. You know what I like? My dream, I hated getting up when I was a kid going to school. My mom, we had these blinds that made the room dark, and she would just like tear open the blinds. We were leaving my whole life, but I lived in so many places in the world. And at that point, we were in Egypt. The bright sun would shine into the room. I would hate it. It was the worst thing. And my dream was that I could press a button and be in my classroom desk. Like I dreamt about, like when you said portal, Justine, that's a fantasy I had since I was a kid. Press that button and be in front of my classroom desk, ready to go. Right. So that's what these things are. They are portals. They're buttons that you click and they take you straight to the file. I love that. Yes. But it is
So-
not a copy. It is just a method to get there quickly.
So after you use it, then just get rid of it. It's just short term.
The what?
So
the alias?
So after you use the alias,
Yes.
then you just get rid of it quickly.
Yeah. And the alias, I'll show you my use for aliases. I have a very good use for aliases, by the way. I will show you now. For the most part, if you put something in here, once you're done, you're done. So yeah, right click, move to trash, because it's not the file. It's the portal that takes me to it, and I'm done needing it.
Okay.
Got it? The alias. Versus if this is the real thing and I send it to the trash, I'm actually trashing a real file, right? So the alias is trashable as much as this quick link is also trashable. I've been telling you from here, just drag it out, it's gone. But if I go to my downloads to the right spot, there's still the file. There it is. It's still there. This, if I trash, I'm going to trash a bunch of files. But this would be the equivalent to aliases or shortcuts or portals, whatever you would call them. All of these are trashable. And nothing will happen, okay? Versus the actual file. So that's another thing. The real file, if you trash it, you're in trouble. Versus the alias, it can go anywhere and nothing will happen. Or if I'm done over here with the alias, I just drag it out, remove it, boom. The file is one and it's still where it is. All the other versions of it are just portals, switches, links to get to that one file. Great question. And yes, Molly, they can be trashed. Any of the three methods I showed you can be trashed. The only place that things can't be trashed from is from the actual folder, documents folder itself. That is where they live. That is where they exist. Anne.
Can you make a change to a document that's an alias?
Good question.
Okay, let me go back to my example of the light bulb. If the light bulb fails, you're in the dark, right? You only know because you went under the switch, right? And it's more, but the light bulb is going to be changed up in the light, right? So the same thing. If I open this folder to access that file, this is just linking me to the actual file. So the change I make is in the actual file, right? It's not in the alias. The alias opens the actual file, guys.
It opens it, okay.
Opens the actual file. It is not a duplicate. It is not a number 2, number 3. I did not make 3 versions of it. It's just me littering my computer with little switches that allow me to get to my actual file, little portals, little quick accesses to my actual file. But when I open it, that's my actual file. Yes, I can make changes and save it. Okay. But the links, if I get rid of them all, yeah, I can always climb the ladder and screw the light bulb in to turn the light on every time I want to, which was probably the most inefficient way to get to turn on my light, right? I'm leaving the room, get onto a ladder, unscrew it a bit, the light turns off. Come into the room, find a ladder, put it under the bulb, climb up the ladder, tighten it, light is there. That would be really inefficient. We would not want to live that way. So instead, we put a little switch, and that's what these things are. They are accesses to that file. Once I'm open, I can do anything I want. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yep. We're not changing multiple files. We're not duplicating files. We are just reaching out to them in ways that you might like, which is the desktop. I don't like, but people like that. Have them in their desktop. Good. Put an alias there instead. The dock is new to almost everyone, so that's not one that most people even thought of, but you always opened apps from the dock. So how different is it to open a file? As long as it's next to here, you get accustomed to it. That's really good too. Now, not many people work on files a lot. So a lot of times I'll do a screenshot and then I don't work on that file a lot. The screenshot is there, period. I need it when I need to remember something. On the other hand, if I'm working on my taxes, if I don't do it all in one day, I might come back to it. Or if I'm writing a script, if I'm writing a novel, I need to come back to it. If I'm writing a report, I'm making a presentation to trying to get investors for my business, I'll keep working on it until it's perfect. Yeah, then it might be good to put it right here. It's quick to access right from the dock. But if it's a file that I don't need all the time, why would I even have it here? So then if you're done, you've done your presentation, remove it. The real file still lives where it lives. And next time I need to make another presentation, I might start using that as a guide and make a new one. But for now, it can go and be stored where it needs to be stored because I don't need it anymore. Does that make sense? Now, this folder, it's an alias. It's an alias. It lives in my downloads. It lives right here somewhere, and I need to find it again. And that's precisely the example of why there it is. That's the V Spring Photoshop class files. See how it took me a while to find it here versus here it was easy. Now, I'm going to get rid of it, put it in the trash. Is it still here? Yep, it's still there. Trashing the aliases does not affect the real thing, okay? Now, to clarify why I prefer this method, and I'm going to go ahead and undo that and put this alias back on the desktop again. Because, and let me explain why all of the things that are on the desktop bug me. And then if it doesn't bug you, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm explaining the theory why this bugs me. Is because when I find this folder here and I know it's there, say that this is the real thing, I don't know anything about it. I don't know where these files are. Like if this is the one place where you have all your stuff and you lose it, like you're like, where did my stuff go? Like I have no idea where they are versus for me, okay? Once I do find that thing, again, see, now I have to find it. Where there. If I put it here instead of there or there, I love it because all I need to do is click on it and it tells me your files are in the downloads in the teacher. Oh, that's where they went. They were in the downloads. So that's why I like this method in particular because it clearly is telling me where they are. I'm not in the blue, not knowing where the final destination is. They're in my downloads. Okay, they shouldn't be in my downloads. These files should be somewhere else. Okay, let's move on where they need to go. For example, does that make sense, you guys? So if where they need to go is in my desktop, in my documents, I'm going to move them to my documents and I'm going to put them in there. Now, here's the thing. When I put them in my documents, I'm going to be uploading them to the cloud, right? So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to put them in my document. What I want to, let me explain from the beginning what I want to show you. Let me backtrack. Here is a desktop alias. It is pointing to this folder, which is in my downloads. You're all clear about that? Yeah, I'm starting with something new, so you guys pay attention. This alias, and actually, let me also put it here, so you'll see that it works if I also put a folder here, which is the other way, and I put it here. So I have it in 3 methods. This folder is over in my favorites. It's also in my desktop as an alias, and it's also in my doc as an alias. Okay, I have it made in the 3 methods that I told you. Now I go, well, but it shouldn't be in the downloads. I've been telling my students not to put things in the downloads. Why is mine in the downloads? It should be in the documents. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the documents folder. So I'm going to grab it, and I have moved it to the documents folder, right? See how it's not in the downloads anymore? When I go follow it to the documents folder, there it is. It's sitting in my documents folder. In fact, it shouldn't even be there. It should be in there in my class files, because these are real files. These are the actual files that my class is working on right now. So I put it in my do not remove. These are real folders, right? And here it is. Okay. So I've moved it. I've moved it from the downloads to the documents, and then from the documents into the do not remove files. Yeah? So the aliases have not lost track of the file. They keep track. If I click on this to open it, even though you saw me move it, if I open it, it knows exactly where it is. See, now it's in my documents folder in the do not remove. So the aliases keep track of when you move things around. So it's not like, whoops, I moved my file around, so now I have to redo my alias. No, no, no. Same with this. If I click on this, it knows exactly where those files are. Same with this. If I click on this, it knows exactly where they are. They have now been moved to the do not remove files documents folder. Does that make sense, you guys? We do not need to worry. The aliases keep track of the movements. And so if now I decide instead to move them to another folder, or, you know, to wherever else, the alias keeps track. So it doesn't mean that once you make an alias, you can't move the original anywhere. No, no, no. The alias knows it's like there's a string tied to it. So whenever you go, it keeps that string tied to it. Okay. So don't worry. It's not like you can't move it around and say, oh, I want to put this inside of that, or I want to put this inside of that. Yeah, you can still keep doing that just fine. You can keep moving things everywhere you want, even if it's not anymore in my original downloads folder. Okay. So, I'm going to do the same thing with these two. These two are real files. My students in these 2 classes are using these files right now. So I'm going to move them over into the documents folder. There we go. And then when I go to my documents folder, these 2 need to be moved to my actual do not remove. These are real files, because this is a class I use for teaching. All of this is, let's just say, sample files for you guys. These I can mess around with. I can do whatever I want. I don't need them. This is the only folder that I remind myself what's in here is real. This is my actual problems, my actual stuff I can't mess around with. Anything that's in here I can trash and do whatever I want, because it's just sample files for you guys. So now I have them safely in there. I will remember not to remove this one and all the things I get. But when I tried to open those files from wherever, all the little quick access links I made, I will find them just fine. All right. I'm going to stop my share. Clean your feedback. If all of this, at least in theory, makes sense to you, and if you found at least one way that works for you, that you like to find them, and if what you like is to go into the Finder and find your documents and use them from there, you don't need aliases and shortcuts, then that's good too. I'm not saying you have to have a plan B, but in particular, for those of you who have things on the desktop and you insist on keep them in there, and you will not move them because you think that's the only way to find them, if this has provided a solution for you that you're willing to attempt, give me a yes. You don't need to do all 3. You need to do at least 1. Okay, if you're still unclear on the concept and you're gonna wait and see and not take the class again, and maybe at that point I'll trust and I'll do it, that's fine. Give me a no. And you're not wrong. You're just someone who wants to hold on to their files on the desktop. Be my guest. This is the thing. why I don't do that, just me. I tend to have my desktop full of stuff. I tend to have my Photoshop open. I'm going to do that. I'm going to open Photoshop right now, which takes a while to open. I tend to have my Safari open. I tend to have my calendars always open, and it's usually pretty big. I use my notes a lot. My notes is always open. So I have a lot of stuff that is constantly open. Photoshop is open, Bridge is open. These are things that are always there for me, right? So what happens is that if I use my desktop to put my things, my desktop is not accessible to me. It's not. I'd have to close everything to be able to access my desktop versus open a Finder window, that's always available, and boom, there are my files, right? So to me, a Finder window is much faster. Open up from here. Yep, right there. There are my files. That's exactly the same thing, right? Versus the desktop. So for me, the alias on the desktop isn't a solution either. And that's a personal. If you're someone who's really good at not having a bunch of stuff open, then the alias, the files originally on your computer and the alias, now I'm closing everything again so I can get rid of everything. I would have to do all of this to get access to these. Alias or not alias, the desktop is not a comfortable space for me. Does not mean that it's not a comfortable place for you. For me, when my computer is in constant use, the Finder is the comfortable place, and the favorites are the way is where I put anything I want to access quickly if I don't want to have to dive deep into my documents folder. Okay, so it's just an explanation. And in this case, the other stuff were more fact-based. This is more of a personal, not fact, subjective, what I prefer and how I prefer to use the computer. Okay, so if that made sense to you, because you find your desktop is always kind of weird and hard to find, especially you guys, those of you who every time you need to get to the desktop, what you do is move your programs over, which I have said so many times, please don't do that. You move them out of the way, then you have to move them back in, and then you have to move there and whatever. If that's the kind of thing that you're doing, moving things out of the way all the time to get to something, then you definitely have to stop using the desktop as a place of quick access, because it is not. You have to get accustomed to going right to this little guy, have a Finder window, and then going, let me see. Even if then you want to get the stuff on your desktop and you do have something really open in the way, it's still much easier to get to those things on my desktop, which are now covered. It's much easier to go Finder window, desktop, and find them there. So the Finder window is still the best way even to get to my desktop, even to get to that alias, which even here in Tiny has a little arrow, which is my desktop. Does that make sense, you guys? So no matter why or what, the Finder window is still the best place to find your stuff. And the quickest way is to drag the important things onto your desktop. If it's individual files that you want, then drag it here into the dock. That's just my suggestion. Now, new concept. How many of you guys, and I told you there's one thing I do with my desktop constantly with aliases. Remember I said there is one way I use my aliases. I mentioned that a few times. I'm going to demo that one again. It's just a good trick I find for the use of aliases and for the uses keeping my desktop clear. So I tend to make a lot of screenshots. This is a screenshot. Boom. This is another screenshot. I'm going to do the texture of this. I'm going to do a screenshot of this green. These are desktop. These all land in my desktop. So a lot of you guys are like that. You make a lot of screenshots. I don't know. Some of you guys are like, I've never done a screenshot. What are you talking about? Forget it then. We're not talking to you. But people who do make screenshots, I make screenshots all the time. You see that every day I have a new set of screenshots. That's because when I teach, my students in my graphics classes have to do screenshots and post them as homework. So if I'm teaching 2 graphic classes a day with 8 screenshots in each one, that's 16 screenshots in one day on my desktop. If I don't clear them, by the second day, I'm up to 40 screenshots and my desk is littered with screenshots, right? So what do? to not have my desktop littered like this with screenshots. I use an alias. Just watch the process and I'll show you. In my Finder, in my Documents folder, I have a folder called Screenshots. Yeah. Now, if every time I want to clear these screenshots, I had to do that, I would have to go open my Finder window, go to my Documents, open my screenshots. Now let's grab and put that one in there, right? I probably wouldn't organize very often. It would take me forever to do that. So watch what I do. I'm going to make an alias of the screenshots folder. So right click, make alias. After you make an alias, what do we do with that alias? We'll drag it out to my desktop. There we go. So now I have a folder, but it's an alias. You see the little arrow there? It's an alias. Okay. As much as if I were to double click on this, it would take me straight to the screenshots. It also works for storing my screenshots. So I'm going to double click. Let me give this one a name. This one's going to be bush, green bush. This one, I'm going to rename this one so that we can really recognize it later. I'm going to call this one tree texture. And this one's going to be forest. Okay. Okay. So I have a lot of screenshots here. I'm going to grab them all at once. Put them in the alias. It's like I'm storing them. Can I do that? Yeah, I'm storing them. I'm going to leave this one out. I'm going to grab these three. I'm storing them. So now my desktop is clear. I have one file that I'm choosing to keep there to show you a file on a desktop. I have a screenshot and I have a screenshot alias. Cool. Every day after class, I select all those screenshots that I've made and I drop them in the screenshot alias. Guess what? It worked really well because if I'm going into my Finder window now, into my documents and open my screenshots, then there they are, forest, tree, and bush. And then the rest that had no name. Those are the three that I just made and that I stored in the alias. You see that? It's like I opened a drawer and dumped them in there and they went into their right spot in the documents folder. Pretty cool. Many of you guys don't do screenshots. So you're like, well, how does this example point to me? I'm just saying, if you have a bunch of stuff that you don't know what to do with, you could right now make a folder in your documents folder. You could make a folder called, I'm going to make a new folder now, okay? I'm going to call it From Desktop Must Organize, for example, right? And say that, and I'm just going to say that in the desktop you had, right now you had a bunch of stuff. I just filled the desktop with stuff, and you also had a folder or two that you didn't need. You had a lot of stuff. So those of you who have a lot of stuff sitting on your desktop, right? So this is kind of what I'm imitating right now. You have stuff on your desktop. It's sitting everywhere. There we go. Well, guess what? I just made one folder called From the Desktop Must Organize. Yeah. And I would say, I would recommend grab all the stuff that's on your desktop and put it in that folder, right? Grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it, put it in there. That way you don't drop it in a loose desktop that's got so much stuff that you'll lose it. There you go. This is everything that came from the desktop, right? Now you can begin to choose where to put it. And you go, let me see. Oh, this one. Oh, this was a health file. Let me take it to health. This one, oh, this one was a financial file. Let me take it to financial. So once you make your basic 5 to 10 folders, you can have one big folder with a lot of junk that you go, oh, that one goes in recipes, and this one goes in screenshots, and this one goes in, you know what I mean? And then you organize that, oh, the folder, this one needs to be on its own, and the hierarchy needs to be a folder, and that one needs to go there. Next thing you know, you can have everything organized and done with, and you don't need to worry too much anymore. And now my desktop folder is empty, and I've been able to nicely organize everything. I'm being very quick. Truly, I would have to look at it, say, what's this? Oh, that goes in personal. Or under personal, I have a folder for, maybe health is under personal, right? Or maybe under health, you have 4 doctors and you have 4 different doctors' information. Whatever way you choose to organize your stuff. In the basic documents folder, you shouldn't have loose stuff. If there's a file that fits nowhere, then drop it into personal. If this file's like, it doesn't really fit in any of those, okay, have a folder called miscellaneous. In my real one, I don't sew much. I always say that. Kids' costumes, and I fix things, but I don't sit there and make patterns. So I do cook out of recipes, but I don't do patterns. So I do have the pattern that I downloaded during the pandemic for the masks. So for a long time, I had the pattern in my computer, but I don't have a folder for sewing patterns. Why would I if I had one pattern? Does that make sense? So it lived in my miscellaneous folder because I don't need it. There's no more of it to pair it with. And so miscellaneous was a great place for it. The other day, I finally said, you know what? Yeah, if we ever need it again, I know how they're pretty useless, so I'll have to buy the good ones. So I went and I trashed that pattern. But it lived in my miscellaneous folder for full years because it didn't fit into anything else that I normally do. So there's a valid place for miscellaneous. There's a valid place for, you know what, I don't know where these go and I can't organize right now. Let's make one big folder, and everything that's loose in my documents that I don't know what to do with, let's just drag it there. Let's drag it there. Let's drag it there, right? So say that you have a ton of loose stuff right now, and I'm going to imitate that. I know that at least half of the people that I just helped with, they have a ton. Whenever you open your screens, I look at I'm just kind of re-imitating what this looks like. Most of the computers, when you guys open up your desktop folders, they look a little bit like this, don't they? Like stuff all over the place. Yeah. You're beginning to classify, especially those of you who are saying, yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. That's great. It's good. You're working on it, but it's kind of hard to look at all this and go, how do I even start? And I assure you 90% of your guys' desktop documents folders, if you did what I asked you, which is put things from everywhere in here, they probably look like this. So I highly recommend making a new folder and calling it to organize, right? Not even must. To be organized, right? Or to be filed, or whatever you want to call it. To be filed, whatever. So make a new folder, make one new folder. And if you need to remember how to do that, I'm going to move this into the trash. We can go up here to the file and say new folder right there. That would be a good place to do it. And then call it to organize, right? Or whatever you want to call it. And now everything that isn't in something, grab it and drop it right there. So I'm going to grab this one and I'm going to drop it under to organize. And then remember, click, shift, click, it's 3 at the same time under to organize. And then grab these 5 to organize. This one, I don't care what it is, what it isn't. I'm just slowly dropping them all under the to organize because it makes life much easier, right? And then remember that if they're not together, you hold down the command key, skip those, and then you grab those, and then to organize. Whew. And then you go, you know what? This one actually is supposed to go, this is a folder, but I also need to organize it. Okay. So suddenly you look at your folders and you go, oh, well, this one really should be under classes. Okay. There we go, class files. And this one, oh, family files, that can go under personal. So then you keep minimizing until finally, let me see, health, maybe health should be under personal or not. I mean, health can be a big one, but you choose, there it goes. Recipes should be in there. Oh, good. Now, if these are the main things I do with my computer, right? Now I can open my To Organize, which is full of stuff, and start going, okay, forest, where did that one go? Oh, that one goes under class files. How about family? Oh, that one definitely goes under family files, which is under my personal. So look, personal, and let me see. Let me grab this family and put it under family files. There we go. Spaghetti. Oh, spaghetti, that's definitely a recipe. Let me go find my recipes, right? And so I begin to organize from that point of view. And then the only place that has messy files is my To Organize folder as I work on putting things away. Does that make sense? So here's my recipes folder. I go to my To Organize and I find that lemon spaghetti. It goes into recipes. If I want to, I actually open it and I put it in entrees. There we go. And then it's even more organized, right? If you have a good organization within your folders. So this is all aspirational. I'm not going to say that all your files are going to be this way to start with, but this would be really nice, right? If you could, because it makes sense, know that your lemon spaghetti is going to be in your recipes versus I'll have to search through all of my computer and figure out where's my lemon spaghetti file, right? It's just, oh, it's under recipes and under entrees. Why? Because it makes sense, right? So that's hopefully the goal. I've been talking a lot. Now I'm going to stop my share. How many of you feel that you're on the way to this? Like, you got it. Yeah, it makes sense. I just need to sit down and do it. Give me a yes. If it's like, no, that just is way out of what I think I can handle, give me a no. Like, I don't really understand what you're talking about yet. This is a bit too much. Yeah, give me a no. And I need to say, that's totally fine. And keep taking these classes, because some of the people that are saying yes right now, the first time around, they were like, oh, my head is just, my brain's bouncing around in there. And I need to hear this again a few more times before I can handle it. Does that make sense? So don't get in despair if you say a lot of greens and you're like, well, I don't want to put on red because I'm the only one with red. No, don't worry. Give me a no. It's okay to say, I'm too busy right now. Maybe in 3 months I'll tackle it. When I tackle it, I might forgot what you said, so I'll take the class again. Good news. I take this class every single session. Take it again. Next time you can be chipping away more at those files. Does that make sense? So don't feel bad if this class ends and you've only done 10% of your files. It's fine. Keep working on it. It's not that easy. At first, our computers, for many people, are a real mess, especially if you've been working on your computer for many years and you've accumulated a lot of stuff. Some of you open your computer right now, just bought it, use it for the internet, don't have files, and don't know what all this fuss is all about. Good for you. Yeah, right? But other people who've been having files forever and have a lot going on, yeah, you have some work to do, but that's fine. Just 5 minutes today, 5 minutes next week. Guess what? Next week is spring break. 5 days without classes. So all the time that you're in class, make as if you're in class and sit down and organize files during 1 to 4 p.m. on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That should give you a lot of hours that uninterrupted work time on your computer. By the time Mac level 2 starts after spring break, hopefully you'll be like huge smiles on your faces and you'll be like, I can't believe what I did. I emptied it. I'm all organized. Life is great. I would love to hear that kind of feedback. All right. All right. Anything unclear that has to do with just getting it done, then just get down to it. But anything unclear, like the questions you guys asked that, when Denise asked about the duplicates, I was able to clean that up, the portal, that kind of stuff, please let me know. Mary Ellen, screenshot on a PC. We don't have a PC here for you to demo it. So you take my Photoshop and my Illustrator. You're in those classes. And in the Padlet, I'm just talking to Mary Ellen. We have a Padlet. And the Padlet, the first post in the Padlet reminds you the shortcuts of how to take a screenshot on a PC. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
This is just, if people thought I was talking Chinese, I was. She's in my graphics classes where we do some extra stuff, and that's her answer. Okay. Jennifer, I assume you said no because you're still not working on organizing your files. Is there a specific question or is it just, you know, I need to do this? You're muted. You're muted.
Another stupid question. How do you take a screenshot?
Okay. Not stupid at all.
Thank you.
For those of you who want to take a screenshot, if you want a very specific particular area screenshot, here, say that I want to take a screenshot of just the texture of this tree,
Yeah.
then Shift Command 4. I press down the Shift, the Command, the 4 all at the same time, like three fingers. And then your mouse turns into this little like how do you call it? Crosshairs. See it right there? Do you see how my mouse now looks like a crosshairs?
Yes.
So now you just click and drag and make a little box and boom. I just did a little screenshot and it appears here on my desktop of that little bit of texture. So Shift Command 4. Now I'm going to do a little screenshot of the general forest. See, it appears here automatically and then it saves itself on your desktop. Now I'm going to do a Shift Command 4 and a little bright green bushes. And those are my 3 screenshots of different parts of my desktop. Okay.
Thank you.
Boom, 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 3 screenshots, which now will live there until I grab them and throw them in my screenshot alias folder so that it'll go and not be sitting on my desktop. I'm going to Command Z to undo that. Here they are again. And in fact, I'm going to throw them away because I don't need them. So instead, I'm going to select them, right click and move them to the trash. But there you go. That's how I made 3 quick screenshots. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. I want to show you, for those of you who always wonder how to get into the class schedule and stuff like that, I'm about to go to the class schedule. So I'm going to do my.sbcc.edu. And I'm getting into SBCC. This is just for people who don't remember how to get into the SBCC. And now I'm going to go to my, to tell you in my roster who's in my Mac Level 2 class. Here we go. If you are one of these names, you are in my Mac Level 2 class. Mac Level 2 begins
See it.
31st. So not this coming Monday because it's spring break, but the following Monday. Okay. So if your name is not here, you need to register. And let me see, let me put it in the chat. CRN for Mac Level 2. Starting, when did I say it starts? It starts March 31 through April 16. Okay, same. No, not even same. I think this one is again the 1:30. They did a weird thing. I think this one again starts at 1:30, which is going to be a problem for me because the next class that I teach starts at 5 and this one's going to finish. Let me just make sure. No credit. My Mac Level 2. No, this is summer. Yeah, the class schedule already has the summer classes. You guys want to go check? Okay, so this is the Mac Level 2. Yes, it starts from 1:30 to 4:35, which is a problem for me because my next class starts at 5. So I won't be able to stay, and I teach till 9. So I won't be able to stay late at all. Okay, but anyway, 1 5:30 p.m. to 4:35 p.m. In fact, I might want to check in with the group once that class starts and ask everyone if it's okay to move it to 1 to 4:05 like this one. That might make my day a bit easier, but I'm gonna have to check in with the people when that class starts because there might be people here who are not, but I'm seeing most of these names, just about all of you guys are here, are in, meaning all of these names are in this class. That doesn't mean that everyone who's here isn't here yet, right? I definitely need some of you guys who aren't yet here to sign up. But let me see a show of hands. If and when the class starts, give me a yes if you think it'll be okay if we shift it back to the 1 to 4:05 p.m., which is what we've been doing here. If that's going to work for you, then I'm going to probably do that so that I can have a brain by the end of the day. Looks like for those of you who are signed in and are here, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Okay, so that's good. But I will officially write it in the email when the class goes. But for now,
5:30, no, 1:30,
like today, 1 to 4:05.
that is the one.
When Mac level 2 begins, I will request to meet 1 to 4:05 p.m. So that's my request. Just if someone can't, then I'll stay with 1:30 because that's the schedule that's been published, but as long as it works. But anyway, if your name is here, you're good. If your name is not here, you need to register. If someone needs help registering, I can help you with that. But other than that, all right. So
Excuse, does it start 1:30?
it will start at 1.
One
Officially,
o'clock?
the schedule says 1:30. I'm going to ask if we can have it be at 1. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
So just schedule it in your calendars from 1 to 4:05, just like this one was, so that I can have a bit more breathing room. And then if there's a chance, if you have a question, I could stay even a few minutes
So
versus,
1 p.m. through 4 p.m.
yeah, April 16th, March 31st through April 16th. So it's 3 weeks. Okay. All right. Next week is spring break. No classes. Any class you have, the whole school is closed. But this Wednesday, we still have a class. And remember what was going to happen this Wednesday. And I'm going to check in with you guys now in a minute. Who remembers what we're supposed to do the last day of Mac level 1?
Do time machine.
Yes. We're finally going to work with Time Machine. Time Machine was the backup system, right? So the goal this whole Mac level 1 was to get you guys acquainted with where the stuff is in your computer and help you organize it. I have some more tricks that I'm going to show you right now in what's left of this class that I haven't shown you yet. But as of Wednesday, we're going to be talking backups. Now, it's not just Time Machine. And for those of you who wonder whether, hey, my Time Machine is working, do I need to be here? I will do more than that. But just as a show of hands, who has Time Machine up and running and you're good with it? Give me a yes. And if you have a Time Machine up and running, but you're not good with it, or you know you need to change it, or you don't know how to access the files if you need it, if the computer crashes, any of those answers, give me a no. Yes means you're totally good with it. No means no. I have a lot of questions, even if I have it set up and running. Okay, so I'm seeing mostly no's. Okay, so I'm going to clean your answers. Those of you who do have it up and running, you don't need to prepare anything special. Those of you who said no, if it's up and running, but you have more questions, that's good. But if you don't have it yet and you haven't purchased it yet, now you gotta lickety split, go grab one and buy it because it needs to be here by 1 p.m. on Wednesday so that I can help you set it up, okay? So during class on Wednesday, For people who have it all the way running and set up, if I have 3 people that need it set up, I might give everyone a 10-minute break while I help them set it up. And then everyone can come back, right? But then to make it run and how to make it run and how to retrieve things and how to do that we can all cover. And there's 3 other methods of backup that if sometimes there's so much talk about Time Machine, it takes up a lot of time, and other times Time Machine gets covered quickly. And then I can show you 3 other backup methods, right? So then I'll show you some other backup methods. That's for Wednesday. Now,
Are there different type of time machine?
it's a software. Time Machine is a software, and there's only one software. The people can buy different types of hard drives, right? So, and I know that when you came to class in person, Afra, you had a Time Machine connect. We connected one to your computer. So if you find something kind of looks like this, they actually look a bit more like this, more square, like a little, like, remember packets of cigarettes and that the thin ones? That is what these things look like. If you have one that's connected to your computer, then that's all we need. If you have one, you don't need to buy another one. Go find it if you don't have it connected to your computer. And that's all you need to do, Afra. All right. For those of you who want to know, this class in the summer, we're also going to be online. And then I finally got the answer. The architects and the people are hard at work. And by next fall, my good old lab number 3 will be available to be in person again. So I'll be teaching again in HyFlex mode, which means I am there for anyone who wants to be in person, but the class is still on Zoom for people who want to sit and be at their homes. So it'll be hybrid HyFlex again, which it was up until they started remodeling, and then they've taken more than a year. So that's for people who need more of the hands-on help. So this is a bit confusing to them. It's coming in the fall. Well, then you can be with me in person and I can help you a little bit more hands-on, where sometimes Zoom is an issue. And other people are like so happy, you're at home, you're on your own computer, life turns on, you're fixing your own things, and like you wouldn't even consider going back to class. Fine, just letting you know that it's coming in. It's coming back in person as of fall. Okay. Next thing. How do you all feel about your files? Do you think you're getting there? Do you have any questions? Any more things that are completely no idea about? This is the time to ask. We have about half an hour left. I'm going to show you a new trick, but I don't want to show you a new trick unless my other questions are answered, because I'd rather be clear with where we're at before we start on something new. All good? Give me a yes. Just needing to work on it, of course, that makes sense. Then give me a yes. If you have still questions about how to make a folder, please name it, put it in places, anything like that, this is the time. All right, going once, going twice. I was assuming, Jennifer, that you'd have some questions. At this point, it's just practice, right? So it's not like I can reteach the class. So I'm assuming that you need a little bit more of a hand. Let me show you another trick. So I'm clearing your feedback. Let me show you another trick which might help you organize and find things that I haven't shown you yet. It's pretty cute. I'm going to show it first on Sequoia, because 99% of you guys are on Sequoia. And then for those of you who are in Monterey, I'll show it to you second, okay? So the first one is for Sequoia, Sonoma, and Ventura, right? So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, this is totally new, you guys. A new thing I haven't shown you yet. And by the way, I flip-flop. Sometimes when I teach Mac Level 1, I first explain this method, then I explain what I explained to you guys. And the next time I teach it, I go from flip to flop, and now I teach it the method I showed you, and then this one goes last, because they're both just as valid, but I want you guys to know both systems, since most of you guys tend to take these classes at least twice. Hopefully you'll get, I mean, at least more than once, then you can practice different ways. So there's for Sequoia, let's go into the system settings. Everyone open your system settings. I'm going to shift my share to just be the system settings. It is not in the system preferences Monterey, so hang in there, Monterey, okay? First, let me get Sequoia, Sonoma, and Ventura. Once you open your system settings, go to General. From General, we're going to go to Storage. Okay. Once you get from General to Storage, you need to wait it out. And then your computer is calculating and sifting through all your stuff and going in and out and figuring things out until finally it'll tell you what's in there. So I'm going to wait it out. While I'm waiting it out, I'm going to stop my share and show Monterey. Who's Monterey? Okay, so I'm going to share my entire screen for Monterey. For Monterey, how we get to the same place, we're going to head up to the About This Mac. Way at the apple, at the very top of the apple, choose About This Mac. Okay. Once you get to About This Mac, we're going to go to Storage. That's where you find the storage. Okay. And this thing here that's calculating is doing the same thing that I was calculating in the other computer that I left them working on it while I came to show you. But we need to go one step further. We need to go to the word manage. So Jennifer, did you manage to get here?
Yes, I did. And now I'm to manage.
Now on to manage, and it opens a new window. And this is where you need to be. Hang in there. I'm going to go back to the other computer.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm back with Sequoia Sonoma. Here we have a breakdown of what's in our computer. 370 gigabytes have been used of my 494. So I got a lot of stuff here, right? And so this little empty space here is the only thing that's left. I have 123 gigabytes available left of my 500. And here it tells me that I have this much is with other users. And remember, this computer I use personal and for school. So I have another user, which is all this red, which is me on the other side, that I don't have access to this material unless I sign out and sign in. But then here I have applications. A lot of the space, 94 gigabytes, almost 100 gigabytes is taken up by applications. 12 gigabytes with documents, 7 gigabytes with mail, 5 with trash. Ooh, see, I have stuff in my trash that I haven't emptied. Huh? Big stuff, big bunch of stuff in my trash. I need to do that. And then my computer uses all this space for just system data that it needs to run. And it's great because I can't access it or do anything about it. And 23 gigabytes of just the system for itself to run. Remember I told you how the system needs space to run. Partly the space it uses is that desktop space that we've been clearing out. Okay, so from here to here, it's all used up. This is empty. All right. If you're all with me here, now I'm going to go to that same place that I kind of took Jennifer to in Monterey. What if I want to explore my documents? Instead of using the Finder window, see here it says document. Oh, and this is cool because this shows you, again, 94 gigabytes is my applications, 12 gigabytes is my documents, 25, 7, and on and on and on. So I'm going to go ahead, and it's in order of how many. You might have it in a different order, okay? You might have that you use more, your photos are up high and your mail is low or stuff like that. So let's go to documents and let's click on this little eye. And when I click on this little eye, this is pretty much the similar space. And I'm going to stop your share. Everyone get to here. And when you get to here, I'm going to clean your answers. When you get to this place, give me a yes. Meanwhile, I'm going to stop and I'm going to share with Jennifer and anyone else who's in Monterey. So where I just went with them, we're going to go over here. See here it says applications, documents, click on documents. And now
Yeah.
this window that's here is identical to the window that I'm sharing in the other group.
Okay.
It's large files, downloads, unsupported, containers files. Okay, so sit there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to go back to Ventura where I'm sharing this window. Okay, so my documents. So remember how I showed you how in the Finder window you can shift to see size, to see name, to see by date, whatever. So this basically is showing me by large files, all my documents. Under large files, you might not have big files, in which case they might not even be here. But look, it's showing me that I have a 7 GB movie. Again, it's probably one of Santi's movies. Let me hit the space bar.
Reading.
Rolling.
Yep, it's one of Santi's movies. 7 GB. He did a number on my computer in the summer when he left stuff in here. So I'd be like, I don't need that. Now, here's the difference. If I hit delete right now, I'm going to make 7 GB of space in my computer. Yes, I'll do that. But this doesn't go to the trash. If you delete it from here, it deletes fast and forever. It goes straight out to the dump. It does not go to the garbage bin. Okay? It does not hang out in your computer. So this is a very permanent deletion of this file. If I'm not sure, I can go down here and go, where is it? Oh, it's in the downloads. Okay. If I'm still not sure, I can click on Show in Finder and my Finder window will open up and then I'll see it in there. Okay. But with this path that I know how to read now and with the size of it is, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know I don't need that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete that one and it's gone. I will not find it in my trash, you guys. Hit delete. Are you sure you want to delete it? It will be deleted. It will free 7 gigs of storage. You cannot undo this action, right? But yeah, I want 7 GB of space, so I'm going to delete that thing. It's gone. It is not in my trash, you guys. It's not like move to trash. It is gone. Move to trash sits in your trash until you empty your trash. This one is gone. My computer right now has 7 more gigabytes of space. So you do that. You have all the files that are under there. It's because they're really large. Otherwise, some of you don't have large files. You'll find nothing. Then you can go visit your downloads. And they show up in, okay, older than a year. Do I still need it? Okay. So then I can look and go, oh, I don't need that one anymore. I don't need this one anymore. Why do I have that one? Delete. So it's just another way to look at your files. Another option of how to get rid of stuff. Again, if you want to see what this is, because you don't know, hit spacebar, shows it to you, and you go, oh, that one. Okay, yeah, I don't need that one anymore. Delete it. It goes straight to your trash. You cannot undo this action. That's fine. Delete. Okay. And then, and for many of you guys, this is important. I've already cleared mine. I should have left some here, but unsupported apps. If you've been upgrading from Monterey to Ventura to Sonoma, each time you Monterey, there's some applications that stop working. They just don't work anymore. And it's usually system file apps kind of stuff. So they put them in here for you to be aware. And if they're here, they're unsupported, you gotta have to just delete them. It's like, where's the banana peel? It doesn't even have anything inside of it. So you cannot use them. If you have anything left under unsupported apps, please delete them all. Okay. So that's just a quick way to see large files, which are the first ones you should focus on getting rid of. Downloads, anything that you have here. And again, kind of like in the Finder window, you can still choose them by size. To see them by size, you can see them by kind, you can see them by last access. It's the same kind of thing we did before. You can see them by name, right? But it assumes that if you haven't used it in a year, which I've already shown you is a bit of a weird thing to assume, because what if it's a wedding data? Who cares that it's a year old? You'll still use it, right? But anyway, you can still use everything I've taught you in the Finder window, but it pinpoints to large files and to unsupported apps that you might not have figured out some other way. And then if none of this if you want to go to the last one, file browser, it's basically a Finder window. And it's basically turns into Finder window. You can go into your documents, go to your to organize. Oh, these are the files that are to organize. I can select one of these and just delete it. Okay. When you're done using this, if you don't want to anymore, you say done. So that is great because I've shown you how to find documents in a different way. But then, and this is the crucial part, you guys, all we've been organizing is documents. But this is showing you other stuff. And the one that I want everyone to stop at and hesitate is at messages. For some of you, it's mail, but mainly messages. We have not been talking about texts and mail and music and photos and stuff, right? So this is kind of a different way to do the same thing we've been doing. But this stuff, you guys, is different. So many people have so many files under messages, so much weight, so much huge weight. Your computer could be full of messages. Since this is a shadow computer, a school computer, I don't get text in this one a lot, but this is text. If you're the kind of person who receives a lot of text, like videos, cute memes, photos, when people say good night, they don't just say good night, but they send you a little photograph of the little cat saying good night to the moon. That's my mom. Then all of that is photos and images and videos, and they take up a lot of space. So I'm going to click on messages. And here are all the different photos that have been sent to my text since whenever, right? And so what I can do here, starting from the oldest one, is I can look at it and go, oh, someone sent me a bowl of soup. No, I don't need that again. It was sent to me May 23rd. Delete it. Well, how about this one? Oh, delete it, and so on and so forth. I need to keep the few that I have here as samples because this is my only place, right? You might want to go to size and then go for biggest to smallest or smallest to biggest, right? So if it's 4 KB, it's really small, click size again, and it'll go to the biggest one, 18 KB, 18 megabyte. And start that way. Start looking at these and go, God, I never knew that that little cute dog wagging its tail when someone sent me when they were happy weighed so much. Wow, I didn't know that. Select it, delete it, because this is living in your computer. And it will be deleted from your text from your phone as well. So make sure that you did want to delete it. If this is the wedding picture of your best friend, don't delete it. Choose it, put it in the photos album. But if it's something you don't need anymore, then you're like, oh, well, I don't need the photo of that dog. However cute he was, it certainly isn't something that matters to me. So delete it. So this might make a lot of space. And if you want to check this photo in your messages app, your text app, you can just say open messages and it'll open in your text app. And I need to change my screen. Oh, because it's just that in this computer, I don't use my text. So Apple Intelligence, let's say continue, and here it is. So here it's showing me the photos that I received in my text, and I can delete them from here as well. So my recommendation is when you get something in your Photos app that you don't need, that you delete it immediately. Like, okay, that was very cute, thank you. Right click, delete from your texts, okay? But if you haven't and your texts have been sitting there forever, this is a quick way to access them and get rid of all that stuff in your text. And I'm going to say the same thing about your mail. Mail is using 7.9 gigabytes of storage, but it doesn't show me what those 7 gigabytes are. If you have stuff here in mail, you have to open it and deal with it within mail. So next class, Mac level 2, we'll be dealing with mail. Those of you who've been asking me about mail and I've been telling you, God, Mac level 2, it's coming. Spring break, and then we'll deal with mail. Okay, so basically this set is really good for documents and messages, things that are sometimes that we don't know. We didn't know that we were keeping so much junk and it's just sitting there because you never deleted your messages, okay? Now, if I have stuff in photos and I click over here, again, it tells me how many I have, and then I have to open photos to deal with my photos. that we'll deal with in the iLife class. So other stuff isn't, so I have 5 gigabytes in my trash. Whoa, let's see. Oh yeah, look, I have all of the videos. These are the videos of my last Illustrator, Photoshop, and Mac Level 1 class. All of these give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gigabytes worth of stuff that I don't need anymore. So I'm going to delete them all right now. I could have done it from my trash, but it would take a month for it to do automatically, or I could have remembered to go into my trash. But if I didn't, these are all from this week, and I haven't deleted them yet, and I don't need them anymore because I've already put them up in YouTube. Boom, delete, delete. I've just deleted 5.5 gigabytes from my computer just using this little app. Okay. All right. Questions? Yes. Anne? Once again, you go to system settings.
Okay, so I got there, fine. It's, and when I get to messages, it's all images, right? Most of them are images. But then when I click on open messages, it's got all of my messages, and I usually delete a lot of them on my phone. If I delete them on my phone, aren't they deleted on this?
Yeah, they should be.
So when I open messages, it's got all of my messages, not just images.
Yeah, because the Messages app shows you the Messages app, which is
And
everything.
there's a lot, there's messages in here I know I've deleted.
Well, go double check, because in my experience, if I delete them from one, they delete from the other. So I don't know how to answer.
No,
Maybe
there's a
some-
lot of them here. Yeah, that I've deleted, but they're on here. It's like they're all on here, even if I've deleted them.
So, okay, so then my question is gonna be, are they all really old?
Let's see, it goes down to 20,
Meaning,
20,
do you have any newest ones? Here,
20 to March. No, I'm in 2022 now.
okay,
Yeah,
so then how about the newest ones? How old are the newest ones?
the newest ones. Oh, no, I got it. The newest ones are the ones I've just gotten recently.
All right, so here's my point. I'm wondering if in your settings of your cloud, just make sure, because the cloud is where these messages go back and forth, that your messages are synced, right? So
Yeah.
it says keep messages forever, right? Then you might want to turn that off and say keep only for a year, keep only for 30 days.
Oh,
That's a place where you could change that.
okay.
I don't like that personally, because it might get rid of some that I do want to keep and not others. It just takes care of all your messages that are old, older than. And I find that like, it wasn't with messages, but eons ago when my father died, he had sent me some emails that I wish I'd been able to keep, but my computer was set up to delete old stuff, and I deleted his stuff, and that I kind of regret. So just in case, be careful that this would get rid of anything that's a
Maybe
year.
it's good. I have them all on there. They're deleted on my phone, but if I really want to get that message, I could get them on my computer.
For the most part, they should have. When I go to my phone and deletes, I'm just telling you now on a personal basis, when I go to my phone and I delete something, it deletes from my phone. And a lot of this is something we're going to cover in Mac Level 2. In Mac Level 2, we're going to be working with the apps, the computer apps, including messages and clouds and calendar and all of that. So if there's something in the back and forth that's not getting translated, we should be able to figure it out in the settings in that class, the one that starts in 2 weeks, because that's when we're going to go and talk about the cloud with all our apps. We're going to figure out how come, and messages is on the phone and it's in the computer. Where should I delete them? Mail, my phone, my computer, calendar, appointments. That is exactly what Mac Level 2 is all about. So keep an eye on that. Go check and really look and see. Go look at your phone and go, nope, this is not there, and it's still here. And then let's see if what's up. What are the settings that are crossed up, that, because in my case, it's set up so that if I delete it on my phone, it deletes on my computer. So I don't know where the cross hatch is happening in yours. that you have it in one and you don't have it in another. But anyway, that's just something that'll come up in a couple of weeks, right? Today we're just talking files in Mac level 1, but Mac level 2 is apps, and all of the files that messages, texts, mail, those are not files, right? Remember we talked about that at the very beginning. So if you want to turn them into file, you can, but if not, they're not a file. They live in their apps. Photos live in the Photos app. Messages.
Started at about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oops.
Now it's
Mute you because they're hearing something. So, calendar appointments, they live in the calendar. They don't live as files. And that is everything that we're doing next class. Okay, not next Wednesday, but next class as in after spring break, Mac level 2. All the stuff that maybe you use even more than files. Some of you have a lot of files, but some of you have been waiting around because you don't have too many files. Your stuff is in mails, your stuff is in all that. And so that's what we're tackling in Mac level 2. Okay. So anything about this that you want to ask? Nope. All good? All right. Okay. So then that was a cute little plan B that works kind of like what I showed you in the Finder, but when you see it, it divides it already into big, small, unused, and deletes immediately. It's a little bit better than the trash. If you're sure you don't want it, it goes away. All right, so we've got a few more minutes before class is over, and I'm done with the content I wanted to teach you. If there's another question, anything you want to ask before Wednesday, this is the time to ask me. Yes, Jennifer?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about this time machine.
Uh-huh.
It's
So,
an
Time Machine is an app, and in order to make it work, we need to buy a hard drive. And the first day of this class, I explained to everyone what to buy. You bought it. Perfect. So Wednesday at 1 p.m., I start explaining Time Machine.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
That's the class on Wednesday. So perfect. You have it. You just hang in there and we'll find out Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else, you guys? Anything about your laptop? I can't believe I never finish early. Is it truly an early? Okay, yes, Anne.
I keep getting this little pop-up that says upgrade to Sequoia. I'm on Sonoma. Do you think that's something I can do myself?
Oh, yes, definitely. All you need to do is once you press the button to say upgrade, it'll do some work and at some point 5 minutes or 25 minutes later, depending on the speed of your computer and whatever, it'll come up and say that you need to give it again your computer password, to get in. And then it'll probably ask you if this is the right Wi-Fi, it'll kind of check with you on your stuff, and then it'll pop up and you'll be in Sequoia.
And
Definitely.
you suggest that I do that, or?
The only I'm sharing recommended without even thinking. When is your computer from?
I think it's 2020.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're fine on Sonoma or to upgrade?
Upgrade.
Upgrade. Okay.
Some people have a 2013, stuff like that, like, no, but well, they wouldn't be given that option. But 2015, 2016, you might be given the option, but it might not be the best idea. 2020, you're fine. All right. Okay, then for the first time ever, I'm going to close the class 4 minutes early. So unless you can think of a question, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Come in with your hard
Thank you.
drives.
God bless.
See you
Bye.
in-
Bye, Deanna. Thanks.
See you on Wednesday. You're welcome, Justine. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Rodney. Bye.